morning, welcome to Sewing Quarter. I'm Tash McCarthy, and boy, have we got some jam-packed shows for you today, including this. Love this Tim Holtz goodness, designed by Jess. She's with us today. Do you want to see what else is coming up? Let's take a look. Okay, so 8 a.m. Mosaic Magic, Quilt As You Go with our very lovely Jess. She is primed and prepped and ready to rock. Then 9 a.m. we've got our favourite quilts and bags. So basically, some of your favourite ones throughout the year that we've been going from the Bargello to the Round the World to the cute kitty that we only had on a couple of weeks ago. It's all in there, plus some bags as well. And then at 10 a.m. we're keeping with the bags, and we've got a bag making masterclass with Jess Entwistle. And we've given you a little sneak peek of that. And it's rather fabulous. I love this. It's roomy. I can fit everything in. And if I want to attach my yoga mat, I can. Yes. And then 11 a.m. clever tools under £15. Those that did not quite hit Mensa, whoosh, not in. Just the clever ones. Just the clever ones, under £15. So that's how this morning's looking. I love this. Oh, this is Jess's bag. Yes. Right, oh, that's it in another colour, by the way. It's lovely, isn't it? Doesn't it look different in two different colourways? Right, so how to get in touch. We would love to hear from you as ever. We always love to hear from you. We had some lovely messages yesterday. And this is how you do so. Head to the website, which is www.sewingquarter.com. Then if you want to watch live, then you can. There you go. And then underneath, just to the right-hand side, message the studio. And you can say hello. Or anything else, actually, that you'd like to say. Keep it clean. And, but that does have sort of a number limit. It's like when you tweet, and you've got a certain number limit on there. So if you've got lots to say, then I'll give you the email address in just a moment. But whilst we're looking at the web, if you missed yesterday or the day before, and we had Tulip Pink in on Wednesday, wasn't it? I thought a lot of the fabrics had sold out, but we still have some. Yesterday we bought you a whopping bundle with 42 different half meters of her fabric. Now, some things have sold out, but you can still buy a vast majority of it by the half meter, which means that you could get 6 meters if you wanted. It's entirely up to you. Plus, oh, is that still available? The thread kit, oh, that's beautiful. You see that embossed owl, that's on one of the fabrics as well. It's just exquisite. And that is your Aurifil, and that's your 50 weight Aurifil. So that's super, super fabulous, 100% cotton. And so Tula says that she only wants to use cotton with cotton. She's quite traditional like that. None of that polyester stuff for her. No, 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 no. If she's doing cotton, she's sticking with cotton. That's the way that she rolls. And of course, Aurifil glides through an absolute treat. Once you're Aurifil, I don't think you go back often. Seems to be the way. People get a bit stuck on Aurifil and absolutely love it. Right, okay. Now, if you'd like to send your pictures, or if you've got lots to say, then this is where you send it to. studio@sewingquarter.com. And that's how you get in touch. So maybe you'd like to send in some of your Quilt As You Go quilts and show us what you've been making, because, I like to see that. Now, if you're a new buyer, because we've just gone onto Sky, lots of new viewers, hello to you. Every day on our fan page on Facebook, we get people saying, I've just found you. Where have you been? Well, we've been on Freeview for a year, and now we're on Sky as well. Woohoo! So if you are a new buyer and you're spending with us today, then if you spend over £10, not including your P&P, then you will get that, a self-healing cutting mat, A4 size, coming just for free. Don't have to do anything. We'll just pop that in your order with you. Now, talking of ordering, there is a slight delay on the warehouse because so many of you have ordered over birthday week, which is great, and we're trying to sort it as quickly as we can. But just bear in mind, there's just a little delay on there. So please bear with us, and thank you for your patience. You will get all of your beautiful goodies. It's just a little delay on that, just so that you know, because I don't want you, sitting in thinking, is it today? So there we go. Right, now our first out, I'm going to put my bag down. Oh, I've got to hang it up here. La, 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 la. It's the same bag, same but different. Lovely. Right, let's quilt as we go. Now, yesterday, you might have seen a quilt that was behind us all day yesterday, and these are the fabrics. This is the Quilt As You Go kilt. We're not Scottish today, are we? No, we're quilting, not kilting. This is the Quilt As You Go pattern that we've got the fabrics in today. Now, this is your rolling stone. If you've never quilted as you've gone, then this is a fabulous way to get quilting. Or if you just, quite frankly, don't fancy trying to manoeuvre a whopping great quilt underneath your machine to actually do the quilty bit, then this is a great alternative. It's kind of modular. You just add on a 12-inch square at a time. It's brilliant. These are your fabrics today. You are getting a whopping 5 meters. Nice. Look at this. This is very jolly, isn't it? Now, so when I saw this in the quilt, I thought it was sort of people outlines, but it's not, is it? It's lovely, isn't it? Very cheery. And then, so we've taken some of those colour elements and popped them in a bundle for you. Getting 5 meters in total here. Lovely. So all of that, 5 meters, looking good, $54.99. So 1.5 meters of your damson, that's that one. 1/2 meter of which one? Port, oh, that one, nice. Meter of your Amy Reber. Now, Amy Reber is, she's a lovely designer. She's self-taught, you know. Surface illustrator, nice. 1/2 meter of your flamingo and 1.5 meters of your sunshine. This is what it's going to look like. Ta-da! Isn't that gorgeous? That we had that up behind us all day yesterday. It does look like a great big starburst, doesn't it? It's lovely and cheery. Now, we've got Mosaic Magic for you as well today. Should we have a look at this one? Now, your Mosaic Magic, this is the one that Jess is going to demo with today. I like this because a bit of thought's gone into this. Not that thought hasn't gone into the others, but I particularly like this because as producer Paul pointed out this morning, it's like you've got a mosaic within a mosaic, which is really lovely. So with your fabric here, it's like a little hint of a mosaic within your Mosaic Magic. Quite Moroccan-y feeling, but in your cool blues. Yeah. Then you've also got, oh, here we go. Do you want to see the Mosaic Magic? There you go. This is your kit. That's everything. You even get the thread. I like that. I'm not having to rummage around to try and find a thread. No, no, no. We've put it in there with it as well. So you get your wadding, you get your thread, you get all your fabric. This is a great way to start. Lots of you on social media saying don't know where to start. Well, this is one block. This is how you would do one block, and that is all quilted. That's the joy of Quilt As You Go. That one block is quilted. Then you do the next block, you attach them together. Jess is going to show us how to attach those together today. Nice. Right, now let's have a look at the next one. Oh, now this, I like this fabric. Look at this. This is your Alison Glass fabric. Ooh, lovely. Look at all of that. Looks like you could colour it in, doesn't it? That's going to look amazing. Really amazing. But then look at the colours that it's going with. So you've got that lovely indigo blue in there. And then I've not seen this. I've not seen this in like a purple. This is our linen look fabric. But I've never seen it in that purple. So I'm a bit chuffed to see that. And I love purple and pink together. Always a winner. So 1.5 meters of your charcoal there. Oh, look, hang on. There's a little spot of heron grey down there, just hiding away down there. 1/2 meter of that. 1.5 meters of that. I think it's 1 meter of that. 1/2 meter of that. It's violet. Yeah, we've not had that, but well, I've never seen that colour before. I'm a bit of a fan. And then, of course, your beautiful Alison Glass fabric there. That's going to look stunning. Love those colourways. And you're getting with that your Mosaic, which is the one that we just looked at. $51.99. That's all of it. All 5 meters in the ratios that you need. So you can get it and you can get going. And we worked out that overall you get nearly 1 meter of fabric left over of the different types. So you could always whack up a quick cushion or something, couldn't you? Right, come with me, let's go to find Jess. Hello.
Hello, gorgeous.
Fancy seeing you here this morning.
I know.
Bright and early.
And we tone.
Well, that was a happy accident.
It was a happy accident.
Yeah, let's say we planned it. Let's pretend.
Pretend.
Now, Quilt As You Go.
Yes. I've done a few of these now.
Are you enjoying them?
I do. Because it is, from a sort of design perspective, where you come up with ideas, which is what I love to do, as you know. That's where you normally sit.
Yeah,
I love doing that. But doing something which is effectively colouring in, I love it. If you just want to sit there and go, oh, that's fun, and you do, because like most of us, I don't have a big sewing space or anything. I monopolise the dining room table and a family who work around me.
No one needs to eat.
No one needs to eat.
No.
So I don't have the big sort of space to lay everything out all the time. So the fact you can actually do these block by block is really nice. Because you don't necessarily have a huge space where I know when I have done quilts when you have to sort of scoosh it around your machine. And I don't know, my machine also doesn't have a sort of a long throat, so it can't really get a whole quilt under there. It's a bit tricky at times.
It is the intimidating part.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when we talk about quilting, what we actually mean is patchworking.
Yes.
Now the patchwork is the top layer, isn't it? So that's and this, you know, this took a little bit of explaining when we first started the channel. It's like your patchwork is the top.
Yeah.
And it only becomes a quilt when you have the wadding, batting wadding, whatever you want to call it. Then it depends if you're American or UK, whichever one you say. And then you have your base fabric, your backing fabric in there. Once you quilt through, once you sew through those 3 layers, you are quilting.
Yes.
And the actual quilt is that effect that you get as it dips, and that is the quilted effect, and that is actually quilting. So a lot of us love to do the patchworks.
Yes.
And then the thought of actually quilting.
Especially when it's a really big one. Yeah, so for something like that, I did a big one for Simply Sewing the other week, and it's 60 by 60. And so we've got a 6-foot dining table, everything's cleared off, you base half of it and you move it along. And it's I know you sit on the floor if you don't have a big floor space, we don't.
Don't get me wrong.
It's fun.
It's beautiful when you've done it.
When you've done it, but it can be a bit faffy,
yes.
especially if you're tired and things.
And I think this is why a lot of us send our quilts off to be quilted.
Yes.
And we're looking at sort of 150 quid a time to do that.
Yeah.
So this is a lovely alternative way. It's great if you're starting out. And also, I like to think of this as modular.
Yes.
Because you work with something around that size. We'll cut it down in a moment. We'll show you in a minute. But around that size, and that is all you quilt around your machine at one time.
Yeah.
And so what that means is that if you buy 2 sets, this is the finished size.
That's your 6. That's the finished.
So that's your 6.
Get the pack.
But if you wanted to do double, buy 2 sets and just add it on, and that's the absolute joy. Or if you want to get some of the other designs, you could do a sampler quilt by mixing and matching them through, and it's the same. So you just put the different ones together. So I think this is a wonderful way. Or you might want to do a table runner and just do 4 of them in a line and then have 2 placemats. It's entirely up to you. Once you have it, you do it how you want. Because if we just show the back, they're joined in strips. Now, you see, I'm very tempted to do one of these and do different colours in each of that rainbow.
Well, that's the thing, you could.
Through.
You could also do strips the same colour as this if you want to.
Yeah,
whatever you actually like, it's up to you. It's your choice.
Up to you. But you see, this is how each of them are joined. And we're going to show you how to join these today because we always run out of time. We always run out of time. So we're going to show you how to join those. So then as many of these as you have, you just keep attaching in whatever formation you want. You could do an enormous one. You
could do a massive one, yes.
But you've only ever quilted
1 block at a time.
Yeah, so it's between 12 and 14 inches depending on how you do it. So, Jess, how do we do it?
So first of all, you get your kits. That's what they actually look like.
So that's the Rolling Stone one.
That's the Rolling Stone, which is that one.
And
this is the Mosaic Magic.
We're doing the Mosaic Magic.
Yeah.
Just to show you the both.
Within the actual sort of folded up quilts, as it were, you get your instructions.
Yes.
Which are very thorough. They look like this. There you go. So, and it tells you, it also gives you a little sort of diagram, layout diagram with the actual number pieces, which are also printed onto the actual wadding.
I'm glad you've done this.
Well, when you're working out, because you know, this comes in yards, so we work in metres. So therefore you end up getting more fabric than you actually need.
Because if it says 1.5 yards, we give you 1.5 meters.
Which is, of course, far more than 1.5 yards. So you do have lots of fabric left over, you do. Although you do think you've got 0.5 metre, therefore you know that the 0.5 metre is going to be the equivalent of, say, 0.5 yard. Yeah. So you work it out that way. And with this, you can actually work out from your fabric how you want the layout to look.
Well, if I just show you the front of the packet here, you've got 3 different style designs using exactly the same design. That is your Mosaic Magic. But it just depends where you put your darker colour, your lighter colour. So we generally look at having a dark colour, a mid-tone and a light. And depending on where you put those, you get 3 very different designs. So even within this one quilt, if you just switched around where you put your different colours, you're going to get a different effect for each block.
Yeah.
We've had a lovely message from Alison in Cheshire. Good morning, Alison.
Morning.
She says, good morning, Natasha and Jess. So glad I am watching. You are covering the very thing that scares me about quilting.
Well,
love the show.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. Well, part of the thing about when I first saw Quilt As You Go was I thought, okay, I get how you do it. I can see that. I'm still not sure how you bind it or how you actually join it together, which is why we've actually prepped a load so you can actually see that today.
I've got a little cheat I'm going to tell you about that later as well.
Ooh, how exciting. So, yes, here are the instructions.
It's probably you that told me in the first place.
I have no idea. And then on the other side, it tells you how, when you've actually made your block, or your block, as they say. There are also lots of videos out there, by the way. It does actually tell you in the instructions, and also think on the back to go and look at the June Taylor website, and she actually has videos on all of them, just in case you get a bit stuck, you're not too sure. But we should cover all that today. But we do actually have on the back how to actually join the actual blocks together, because once you've actually joined 2, you just go and go and go. You've got the same technique.
Do you know what, Jess?
What?
Let's do it then.
Let's do it. Okay,
yeah.
So first of all, you get your 6-piece, which comes like this, and you cut it down.
So you leave an inch around the edge. So
around the edge.
It's quilting by numbers.
Yeah, and then you attach. You cut a 17-inch square from whichever backing fabric you've chosen.
Yeah.
You get your backing fabric. The amount of fabric you get, you could either do the dark blue or this lovely. What do we call this blue?
I'm going to call it ocean.
Ocean blue.
I don't know if it is, but I'm going to call it that today.
Oh, I like that. We're going to call it ocean. Why not?
It's blue sea.
We're hoping that our sea looks like this colour one day. I'll say for the. Rolling Stone. I look at that and say, I see star, I don't see stone. Anyway, when you see this particular one, the backing for this is, I think we call this damson, which
yes.
I did and ah about actually having that with using the gold on the back, because I think that looks really nice together. I love that, but I thought the linear is the one we sort of focusing on. So I think you could get a completely different effect if you did it like this.
Yes, and that's what I mean. You could
you can change
half and half.
You could do half and half, and you could actually have the sort of binding, the sort of backing in this gold, and you could also maybe put the gold in the middle. It just goes like burst like this. Would look lovely.
That's your design choice.
That's my design choice. Exactly, and that's anyone's design choice.
So the instructions give you all of the cutting instructions.
All the cutting instructions. When you actually cut your block, you gently press it. This is the only time you actually press directly onto this until you've finished. You actually press this onto your backing fabric. It has a slight little bit of glue, not a huge amount, but a little bit.
Can I give a word of caution here for anybody starting off? This is a polyester wadding. Polyester and heat is normally not the most ideal combination. In order to activate the glue on here, use your steam function.
Burst of steam.
Because that will activate the glue. Because otherwise, if you go too heavy, you're just going to end up with a piece of toast.
You do.
And you're going to be quilting through toast, and you don't want to do that.
No.
So and if you are in any way worried about that, get our basting spray and just use that. And then you don't even have to go anywhere near it with an iron at all, ever.
Because the last thing you want to do is buy this and then crunch it down. It's really, you think, no. So I sometimes use a basting spray. Crispy. I also just put pins in the corners just to hold it in place when I'm actually doing each block. So as you see on the block, I don't know if you can see because it's blue on blue, they're actually numbered, which of course are referred to in your instructions. You've got your numbers there, and you number the pieces. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then go out that way.
Yes.
So you actually piece from the middle outwards. So you actually follow the instructions, and tells you per block what to cut out. So I have chosen to do the middle block this colour.
Oh, I love that colour.
Then it also tells you might be able to see, if you zoom in, you can see dotted lines. The actual solid lines are placement lines for your fabric. The dotted lines tells you that is actually something which has been pre-pieced.
Okay.
And it tells you for this particular one, which is on this, that one, how to actually pre-piece your geese, your flying geese.
So align them together, mark. Okay, so cut, mark, align, sew, cut. Isn't that easy? I mean, this is how it is. And then you have those 2 pieces done, ready to go. So that is your number 1 piece. So then you look for number 2, which is here.
Yeah. So I don't know if we've got, because we've got make sure we're going to tighten.
Yeah, we're going to run out of time.
So what I'll do is I'll show you physically, but then I've also made them already because I want to get them done. So if you look at your actual design here, it says that's your fabric. So we've chosen this to be the dark bit, which is going to be your point. So then it tells you to draw diagonal lines on the reverse of your fabric here, which you then place and pin and stitch down there. And then you can see that there, and then cut that bit off. And then place this one on top. Make sure these edges line up with the short edges of backing fabric. So you'll see there's an overlap there.
Yep.
And you stitch down there, cut that off. And then you push these back, and press them, and you end up with something which is like that. And that's the reverse. Nice. Okay.
Now I'm going to give you a little word about pressing, because June Taylor, who is the designer of these quilts, says always use a starch spray, because as we've already said, you won't be pressing actually onto the quilt. Yes. So she recommends that you use a starch spray. Now we did a bit of research onto starch sprays, and the one that we feel is best is our Best Press spray. It's not an aerosol one, so because I hate that.
No, the smell. No, and especially if you're working indoors, it's winter, we don't have the windows open.
So what we've got for you instead is your Best Press spray, and this is just a little pump action one. And actually, I think actually you can see on that, that's how much used in just one entire quilt. So it's very, very, very effective. And then that's your lavender flavoured one. Then we've got, this is your, scented. Let's say
flavoured. I wouldn't drink it.
No. This is your linen. That's your linen one. I like the linen one.
Now, which one? I was sent one. I can't remember if it was linen. Can I look at the bottles just to see if I can remind myself?
Go on. Hang on. Let me sell that one.
Okay.
I'll just grab them off.
Grab them off me.
And then if you don't want a scent at all, my mum doesn't really like scents on things.
No.
No, so she'd go for the scent-free one.
Actually, think about it. I did have the scent-free one, and I did use that. I actually ended up using a little bit less than that to make this and to prepare the blocks. For this particular one, there is no smell, and sometimes you worry about spraying something on an ironing board cover. There's nothing. No. The only thing it does is everything feels clean. They just so I would recommend it.
And you said to me that the rest of it you would use to do your husband's collars.
Yes, if you were that way inclined. I'm not. I love you.
Not happening in our house.
Not happening in our house.
So we've prepped everything, and we're good to go.
And we're good to go. So you lay your first piece, number 1. As you can see, it fits up to the placement lines. If it doesn't, don't worry too much, because you use a 1/4 inch seam allowance. As long as you have that 1/4 inch, you're fine. So if you go over or you're a little bit under, don't worry about it. You then carefully pin this in place. They say not to go through all the layers. It's a bit tricky not to go through all the layers, so don't worry too much if you do.
Just there's no quilting police, it's fine. They're not going to come banging on the door.
No one's going to come banging on the door. So we'll just pin that in place, like that. And then you lay your pieces number 2 and 3. Here they are. So they're going to look like that. So you can see this triangle is like this. So you actually place that there, and you pin it. Line it up with the placement line. So give it a wiggle if you need to. Pin that in place. This is where you have, if you have a 1/4 inch foot, which I now do, and I love my 1/4 inch foot, use it on your machine.
Doesn't it make a difference?
It really does, so much quicker. But though it has to be said, I've only recently got that when I was doing a lot more quilts. I thought I have to. So I went and bought one. Before then, I was actually just using my erasable pen and my ruler and drawing 1/4 inch lines on the back of everything. And I've done that quite a lot. So whichever it is your preferred method. If you've got one, use it. If you want to get one, I'd recommend it. If not, then just mark your 1/4 inch on the back of your fabric that you're going to be sewing on. So once you pin those in place, you then sew those on with a 1/4 inch, and then you push them back and you go, and that's how you carry on. So I'll do that.
Finger press, because you've already starch sprayed, you finger press. And what I love about the Best Press is that it doesn't leave that white, starchy, powdery, icky bit. None of that. It just leaves a pleasant fragrance. I like that in my life.
Pleasant fragrance. I like the idea of a pleasant fragrance.
Me too.
But as you can see, because it is a small block you're working on, you're not using all the sort of space on your table. So if you have got a small sewing space, it's ideal. It only uses up a little bit. So only when you come to sort of join the blocks together, that it becomes a bit more tricky.
Do you know, also I sometimes find that if I am quilting something big, I get a bit of shoulder ache. I have to sort of stop and do a few sort of bit of this and maybe a little stretch or something.
Yeah.
Oh, we've had an email and picture through.
Ooh, let's have a look.
Now this is from Madeline. And she said, sent some time ago, I used two and put them together, found it so much fun to do.
Which one is that one?
That's really lovely. So that's, what, is that a single bed, do you reckon? That's a double bed.
Hang on, that hasn't sewn through.
Oh, we got no bobbin in the bottom?
No, we've got bobbin in the bottom. What happened?
That you look at the wrong, you sewed that
one.
Oh,
I have sewn that one. Sorry for you. I am tired. I am tired. I have small children. Despite the fact I was in a hotel last night.
So you've got two to do. Sorry, call with a friend.
Ignore me.
Pauline in Somerset says, good morning.
Morning,
Tell me
Pauline.
about the quilt hanging in the background this morning. Love the show. Thank you.
I love this quilt. You look at that when I do this.
Oh, Pauline, that is next hour. This is the kitty cat quilt. That was brand new on birthday week, I believe, but it has been one of our most popular quilts. And so we will be going through that next hour, along with such quilts as the Bargello and the Round the World.
The beautiful Bargello.
Something else.
Don't mind me. Just moving my foot around.
Too many to mention right now.
But that kitty cat fabric is just gorgeous, isn't it?
Yes.
It's really nice. Hang on, stop there, go back. Right.
Lovely.
Lovely, take that off. I always snip threads as I go. Sew as you go, clip as you go.
Now, some people will pull them through, and it depends how quick you want it to be.
Yeah, I tend to backstitch at the beginning, and I also make sure that I, if possible, start the actual sewing no further back than the actual corner of the quilt line. So, for example,
so it'll be really neat.
There,
yes,
as it were. So, as you can see, you now have that like this. Because you've best pressed it, you can push it back with your fingers, smooth it out like that. You see, as you can see, because you've used your lovely best press, it will hold in place.
It's good, isn't it?
It is good.
Really
I hadn't used it before, and I really like it because you might, if you weren't using it, you might be thinking, oh, I might have to press that. But because you've already done it,
it smells good.
That's my hand cream.
Oh no, that smells nice too, but that's not what I'm smelling. There's something on that fabric that smells really good.
It is. It's lovely, isn't it? And I love these colours together. I love this sort of aqua and the lovely linear.
Well, we had
with the
blues
dark
on
blue.
yesterday, didn't you? You said it matches my china.
I love blue and white, and this sort of blue as well, because especially bearing in mind it's winter and you're just thinking, oh, come on, where's spring?
Come on, summer.
Right, that's key. So that's 1, 2, and 3, and then you've got 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are cut from your lovely mosaic fabric.
Oh, very nice.
Very, very nice, as you can see. So this is a directional print, so you cut it however you want, but this isn't, that much of a directional print, to be honest. If you do have a directional print, just think when you're cutting it how you want it to look.
Yes.
So we just place that on the placement line. As you can see, you might have gone over slightly. Don't worry. Find where the actual line is. Snip that off. Find where the actual line is. You might need to have a quick look underneath, so you know that's there. And then you look and you pin that, lift that up, and you can see there it is there.
If you have gone a little bit over, you can always draw that line on with a fabric marker. It's how confident you feel, but it's not wrong. None of it is wrong.
No, none of it's wrong.
It's whatever you feel happy doing, and that's the real joy of this. I think I remember when we first discussed bringing this to air, and the ladies at the magazines, because we've got sister magazines, Today's Quilter, and and they were like, well, I don't know if this is real quilting. I was like, well, yes, it is.
Of course it is.
Because it's going through your three, technically this is quilting. And if this makes it accessible for more people, whether it's the first thing that you do, or whether you just need a quilt in a hurry, or whether you just actually you're not used to quilting, or you are someone that would send away to have things quilted, and actually you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
This, I think, makes quilting so available for so many more people, and so I think it's fabulous.
Also, from another point of view, if you have children or people who want to sew but are a bit nervous of doing something, or because this is a very, from a person who has small children, the instant gratification that they actually want to have of doing something straight away. You've created something, here's a block, wow, I've done that, and it doesn't take them that long.
You could do it as a family quilt.
You could
each do a block.
Yeah, you could each do a block.
That would be really nice. Maybe you run a craft group or something.
Oh,
and you
well,
could each do a block.
well, that's it. When my mother used to belong to a quilting group, and whenever one of their members had a birthday or a big event, they'd all quilt a sort of a 12-inch square and then make them up into something. So you could do something like that. It's a lovely idea.
We've had a message. And Eileen says, your show is fabulicious. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's just have a whole new word to describe us.
I love the idea, fabulicious.
Can you help me with a starch problem?
Ooh.
Are we talking potatoes or?
I have no idea.
I've got.
Don't talk to me. I love carbs.
For lunch. Yeah, me too.
Ooh.
I don't think it's that. My iron turns black, and I have to constantly clean. Bit of a newbie here. Okay, if you are using your traditional starch, then the white powdery stuff that I'm saying you don't get with the best press will do that. It'll burn. It's basically the white starchy bit burning. So we have on our website, Eileen, we have something called an iron cleaner, and it looks like a Pritt stick type thing, and you just literally you heat up your iron, it's like a glue stick, you just sort of do that on it and then you iron it off, and that will get rid of it. So that will clean your iron. But then going forwards, what I would say is get the best press, because because it's not sprayed. It's like when you have deodorant and you spray it and you get the white marks. Yeah. That's what you're getting with and it's like you're ironing that. Of course it's going to burn. So Eileen, here you go, producer Paul's found you the iron cleaner. So Eileen, here you go. Clean it off with that. It's only $2.99, much cheaper than buying a new iron. Oh no, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And also, if you if you're using anything fusible and you accidentally get a bit on, we've all done it. That will take it off, and then use your best press, because you won't get that residue, and that's why we really recommend it. So there you go. No any kind of newbie starch issues. We'll sort it for you. Good morning, Anne in Cheshire. She says, hi, ladies. Late joining, as was talking on FaceTime to my granddaughter, Amy, who's 14 today. Well, happy birthday,
Happy birthday, Amy.
Isn't technology great?
I love technology.
Isn't that just fabulous?
These days, your kids will say, Mummy, what does this mean? You're like, I don't know, let's look on Google. Whereas I said when we were growing up, you had to go and find somebody who knew something or look it up in a book. Yeah, like the encyclopedia. The encyclopedia. Oh, I feel sorry for people who sell encyclopedias. Oh yeah, Encyclopedia Britannica. Oh, do you remember that one? Right. How are we doing for time? I think time, that looks amazing. Thank you. I love it. But that wasn't actually answering your question at all. What's the time? Amazing. What's the time? It's looking good. Look, let's have a look at the binding in just one moment. Okay. Before we do that, I'm going to go and look at fabrics. Well, you go do that. I'm just going to start building this out and carry on, and then you look at fabrics, and then we'll come back. Stop, I love it. It's really good fun. I can't leave it. It's really nice. You're not missing anything. It's the same process. Yeah, just keep going out. So whilst Jess does that, hop and a skip, spring is clearly in the air. Now, the one that we're demoing with at the moment, you get your thread, lovely. And here we go. You're getting here, this is the mosaic part. I like that we've done that. Yeah. And then you see, so you've got, I would say that would end up being a mid-tone. We talked about having mid-tones, lights and darks. I'd say that was a mid-tone, a light, possibly a mid-tone there, and then there's your dark. And so we've put it all in there. It's all been put together very thoughtfully, and that's 5 meters of fabric there. And you get the Quilt As You Go in there as well. So it's everything. It's the complete kit and caboodle. Same with the Alison Glass. Let me move this over so you can see. With the Alison Glass, again, same quilt base. And but these are your colourways for the Alison Glass. I think this might be my favourite today. I really love it, and this is the one that we're not actually doing, but I do rather love it. I think because the Alison Glass I'm very much in love with this one. Look, oh look, you see, you could have that. That could be your central square, couldn't it? You could fussy cut her. She's actually a mermaid. Look, there's her tail. Woo! And then you've got your violet in the linen. Oh, I haven't seen this. I really like that colour, and I love it with the pink, and I love it with the grey. It's all in there for me. That's the one for me. But if you want the Rolling Stone kits, and that was the one that we've got on the front of the desk that was up all day yesterday, these are your colourways here. It's a lovely warm bundle, this actually, but then with that lovely burst of colour. So this reminds me of a big sunrise. You've got all those colours going through it. Again, another 5 meters of fabric. Jess and I worked out you have about 1 meter left over, but not of one solid colour.
So $54.99, LXGC 55. You also get your quilt as you go, and you get your thread, 5 meters of fabric, and this is what that one looks like. Ta-da! Happy days. Now, if you would like Mosaic Magic by itself, then you can. We don't have any more Rolling Stones by themselves because we've put them in all the kits. But if you'd like the Mosaic Magic by itself, and this is what we're saying, you know, once you get going, you're going to just want to do more and more and more and more and more. So the Mosaic Magic is the one that we're working with today. And again, by itself, just $8.99, which is a great price for wadding anyway, let alone the fact that it's got all your placement marks and everything. And there you go, you've got 3 different options. You see, you might buy 3 of these, and this often happens. We get multi-buyers, and they buy kind of 3 at a time. And I'm wondering if you're going to do sort of 1 of each, mix and match them through, and then just do one whopping great big one. But it's entirely up to you. But if you want to get started straight away, if you don't want to have to wait for it to arrive, then work out your fabric ratios and then order your fabric. Then if you want to get started straight away, then any of these kits does that. Gives you the fabric in the correct ratios with your thread that matches beautifully with the everything. Whoosh, to you. Bing, open, hooray, start. Perfect. I'm going back to Jess. Cool.
Hello. I'm just making a prairie point.
You can't stop, can you?
It's fun. One of the things I was thinking was, you probably have the same thing, always have a blanket in the car.
Oh, no, always. Yes.
That's the standard. We do anyway, because I was growing up in the northeast. We had proper winter in the northeast, not like we have in Bath, where people say it's snowing. You're like, where's the snow? They say, look, it's snowing. I'm thinking, this is snow. We had snow chains on the car growing where I grew up. You know, proper snow.
We had
digging
five, 6 foot snow drifts. You can't get to school. You've got to kind of
back in the day. Yeah, that's what we actually had. Anyway, we digress. But so therefore, I always have blankets in the car. Always have blankets in the car, and I love this as an idea for a blanket. You can make it as a picnic rug if you wanted, but you've got it in there. If your kids are cold, put it on their knees. Yes. It's a really nice thing to do. So you might get this home and they're like, oh, I like this one. Can I have these? Can I have some extra colours which are mine, or can I have it personalised? It's a really nice little thing to do. Get them to make their own, folks. Actually thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I'm just going to. I've made a prairie point from those 2 bits there very quickly, because the reason I've done that is when you attach these bits here and push those back, you'll see you've got little triangles there.
Yes.
But on this one, you've got your prairie point, which has got little triangles on the edge. Oh, nice. So you make your prairie point like this, and then you attach find the right triangle. You attach your triangles, make sure you get the right way around, sometimes you don't want it around, to there. And then that's like that.
Oh, so it's not all pieced in one very long.
Yeah, you see what I mean.
Yes.
How are we doing for time?
I would say let's start binding.
Let's start binding, because all I'm doing is just binding 2 together.
Okay.
So let's do that.
So you've got 15 minutes to bind.
Oh, that's fine.
We can always come back and do a bit more.
I could do a bit of this. Okay. Right. Okay. So, moving on, viewers. You've made all the many blocks that you actually want to make.
This is a proper Blue Peter moment, isn't it?
Proper Peter. I miss
Here's a couple we made.
I want to make a tinsel thing. And you have 2, for example, because you join the 2 together and then you go out. So what you actually have is you can see from the original, that way around, you can see from the original, you've then cut this down by a 1/2 inch. Can you see the difference?
Yes.
Yes, 1/2 inch to the edge, where your actual edge is. Then you mark a line 1/2 inch exactly, because of course you may have overhang, as 'twere.
It's Christmas. I've got overhang after Christmas.
I still have overhang.
Oh, you mean on the quilt? Yes.
I've got a wedding in March and I need to get rid of my overhang. Oh, the Spanx is coming out. Anyway, sausage. Where would we be, folks, without Lycra? So, with your erasable pen, although you're not really going to see it, so if you want to use a pencil, you want to use I wouldn't necessarily use a Sharpie.
No.
Use whatever you want. You mark your 1/2 inch all the way around on the outside, and you mark your 1/2 inch all the way around on this side. Oh, before you do that point, forgot to say, to hold everything down, you just do a little wide zigzag, not too wide, just to hold it all down. Can you see? When you zoom in, you can see, there we are.
They're coming in.
They're coming in. Oh, it's blurry. There we are. Little zigzag all the way around, just to hold everything in place and make it nice and smooth. When you've done that, this is when you press it, just make it all nice and smooth. Because you've got your layers of fabric, it's not going to crisp out. I mean, I wouldn't go there with a huge steam, but just be gentle with it. So So you have that, and you do that for each particular one, depending on how many blocks you want to do. Now, when we've got this laid out, we've got the same image, this is the bit where you think, oh, I might change the layout slightly. You might want it to look like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so you can do whichever one. This is the sort of traditional one, but you can think, okay, I want it to look slightly different. How am I going to do it? I'm going to do it like this. Because you might decide you want it sort of going, you know, like this.
This is another chance to
bit.
play.
Also, if you have because you might decide when you're actually originally making your blocks and you're drawing everything out that you want to think, okay, well, some of them I'm going to have this sort of linear as the aqua equivalent because you've got the same amount of fabrics. So you can. This is where you sort of you've planned everything out, how to put it all together.
Now, this is the point at which you also decide how many did I buy. How am I going to put them all together?
Yes.
Because if you've bought, say, 2 kits, then you might end up, you join one at a time, and then you join the next ones, and you just keep joining. And then once you're happy with the size of it, then you do the final edging of binding round the edge.
Yeah.
But just keep, once it's like this, you just keep adding it on.
Just keep adding it on.
That's why I call it modular.
Because you might come to this and you're thinking, originally I was going to make a quilt, now I actually quite fancy them as placemats.
Yeah.
Or I quite
Cushions.
Cushions. That's a really nice little cushion cover. Because if you're doing, I mean, a lot of times we do patchwork cushion covers, you don't necessarily put a backing on. We always did growing up because it's nice to have that extra wadding. So you might think this is actually going to be a cushion cover and just put an envelope backing or something on it. Anyway, so you have a look at this and you work it, and you've worked out how you're going to the layout you actually want. You then tells you to cut your binding strips.
Yes.
So what you do is you join 2 together, 2 together, 2 together, and then you join them out. So you join these 2 together, then you join these 4 together, and then that on the end.
Yes.
And then you bind the whole lot for this particular one. If you wanted to do any extra quilting on your block, as they say on the website, then this is the point you'd actually do that. If you want to do, I know we've got
the westerly rulers.
Yes.
I think that would be lovely if you've got a plain one in the centre. Then you could really go. Now is your, like you say, now is your time. Exactly that to do that. Let's talk about binding. This is the bit we always run out of time for.
Right, okay.
I'm very keen that you get to do this.
So you have your binding strips. For each particular one, you have a front one which is 2 inches, and you have a back one which is 3.5, which you then fold in half, like this, and press. Now we get our pins. So on the front of your block, you have, this is where that's going to be lined up there. And on the back, along that line.
Where you drew that line.
And on the back, on the equivalent, you line that up on there as well. So that actually,
all of the raw edges are pointing towards the raw edge of here.
Now, what they actually say in the instructions, and this does work because I've done it a few times now, is you pin your back piece first, so the raw edges on the actual marked line, and you'll find that you'll have a little overhang. That doesn't matter, that's fine. It's better to have it overhanging and not having it overhanging. So you actually pin through your layers, making sure the raw edges line up. Just make sure you don't pin where you're going to sew, because you don't want that hideous crunch. We've all had that hideous crunch, haven't we? And you think, please, may it, number 1, have a broken needle, that's irritating. Number 2, have I wrecked my machine?
That would be more irritating.
That's more irritating, because that's the one which costs you money and makes you feel depressed.
And sewing, such a lovely relaxing pastime.
Such a lovely relaxing pastime until you break your machine and you want to cry.
Don't do that.
So that's it pinned there, making sure that and if you go a little bit like that, and then you turn it over and you pin, if you have your fabric has a right side, remember you're doing right sides facing right sides, so you fold it back.
Yes.
This of course doesn't. So we just put that on the line, and you can see that because you've got an overlapped edges, that is going to line up there, and you pin this one in place as well. So.
And again, so that you've got enough space for your 1/4 inch to be sewn without sewing into your needles.
Yes.
Pins
and needles. I remember seeing ages ago a restaurant, it was called Pins and Noodles. I love that. I hadn't quite figured out whether it was a restaurant or actually a sewing shop. We just drove past and I couldn't see what it was.
Maybe it was both.
To this day, I don't know.
Just have a snack there.
If you're in Australia, near Sydney, and you own that shop, let me know.
And we've had another email and an image. So whilst you pin that,
this is
look at from
that.
BT in Greater Manchester. Haywood. Oh, Haywood, Greater Manchester.
Oh, that's
Hi guys, I
gorgeous.
made this for my niece's first baby who was born just after Christmas. Well, congratulations. To date, I have made 3 different Quilt As You Go quilts and really like making them. Love sewing quarter and watch it every day. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Beezy.
Thank you very
Isn't that
much.
beautiful?
That's really nice. Thank
That's
you.
lovely. Hey, you're all getting in touch today. Thank
Go on.
you. Carol in Lancashire, that's your hometown, isn't it?
Yay.
Says, good morning, love your show. Can you tell me how big the kit is before doing any binding, etc.? I'm a newbie with quilts, says Carol.
Let's measure it. It should say there, but I've cut it down. Have a quick look. Bear in mind your binding goes actually onto the edge. That's 26 by...
And again, this is going to be approximate
depending on how you cut it.
Yeah.
For about 39, so about 26 by 30, about 26 by 40 approximately,
nice.
because your binding, of course, goes on the edge.
Yes.
Yeah. So
there you go, Carol. Does that help?
But it honestly depends on how you actually do it, because if you think about it, these bits actually nest together, and the inside of that's actually nested together. So that's why that's that particular width. So if you think it's going to be, what's that, 12, 12, 12?
It's a 12-inch finished block.
Yeah, but depending, it might move a little bit.
If you allow for it being approximately 12 inches, this block will be approximately 12 inches, Carol, and then you add on as many as you want. Yeah, a little bit.
Just make sure you might have a little bit more.
It'll be there or thereabouts, depending on how well you do it. So it'll be about 24 by 36 inches. Yeah,
ish. If you, because you're sewing through layers, make your stitch length a little bit longer. So I've moved mine up to 3.
Well, if you want
the quilting. So I'm just popping that on there.
And you're sewing through all of those layers?
Sewing through all those layers, and I'm going to slow down my hair's pace just to, don't whack it through. I'm just going to go sewing with a 1/4 inch, feeding my layers through.
We've got 8 minutes, Jess.
That's fine. We're almost done, to be honest.
Time check. Oh, this is good.
Ding, 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 ding.
Okay.
Now, take that off. Hopefully, live telly and all that. Where's the pin cushion? There we are.
Yeah, right.
Take pins out.
Right by your hand.
Yeah. Now, because you've done your zigzag, hopefully you haven't gone into your zigzag. If you have, just move it in a little bit.
Okay.
Or unpick it and do it again. So take your pins out, and you can see you've got your flappy bits, like this.
Nice.
Okay. So when you push that back, a little bit of crease there. It's like that. That's the front.
Okay.
And you push that back. And it's like that. So what you then do is you then attach the other one. So make sure you get the right angle how you actually want it to look. And let's just make sure it's the right way around. So we're doing it like this. So you then place this particular one, your front strip, on this line, leaning over a high desk. Make sure, what you should do really, thinking about it, is make sure that your actual points actually line up. So when I was doing this particular one, I marked, I thought, okay, where is that going to be? That point's going to be there. So I'm just going to do a little line sort of there, because I know that's going to be that point, and I'm going to do a little line here. And then on the reverse, slightly.
Got just over 5 minutes.
That's fine. So when I think, okay, that's going to be there. So I'll put that on there, line that at the top line, put it back a bit, and pin. And you're just stitching through this layer here.
So you're going on that line again, on
that line, just on that little line that you've drawn on before.
Fabulous.
Because I remember when this first came on ages ago, and I thought, how to do that? How to do that? I don't understand how you join it. And I know you could also, if you wanted to, as I said before, you could change the colour of your strips. So you could have different ones for each particular one. So it looks completely hodgepodgey, mix-match, couldn't you?
I love the back of a quilt to be just as exciting as the front. So for me, when I do my quilts, I go, I'm going to do a rainbow one. I'm going to get a few packets together, and I'm going to do each square, each backing square in a different colour.
That's a lovely idea. I really like that.
But and then you can.
Exactly. Right. Okay. So let's just go through. Put that down. And because you're only doing these 2 at a time, and of course it depends on how many you actually do all together, you're not going to have a huge, you're not filling up this whole space with heavy quilts. And also I find when I do quilt, pushing a heavy quilt through, not only do you hand slip, I know you can get quilting gloves, I think we might sell quilting gloves.
We've got those on the website.
I do actually order, as you know, and I'm going to be ordering a pair of those next time, because your hands get really tired, especially as I do a lot of sewing, and I'm in my 40s now, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. You get really tired and your hands are really sore. That's just back tack, as they say. Lift that off. And you're thinking, that's not too sure. So as you can see, I've done it the wrong way around.
It happens. See, if it were the other way, then you would see that would be your...
How long have I got?
We're going to have to unpick and start again.
I have. I will.
So that would be your front strip. Now, let's pretend that that's the right way around.
Let's pretend that's the way around.
Because
I'm going to give it a go. The way around.
But then you see the back's as exciting as the front.
Well, that's the thing. You might decide, oh, I want to do that. Anyway, I'm going to go. These 2 now nest up.
I bet there was reversible.
It's reversible. I bet there's someone on the website when I was pinning it going, that's wrong, that's wrong.
That's right, yeah,
that's wrong.
shouting at the screen.
Anyway, so as you can see, this is like this. You're thinking, ooh, okay, well, they now nest up. So you know that looks rather nice. So then, that looks rather lovely. You would then push that back using your iron.
Yes.
Hilarious. And then pin this in place.
Yep.
And then slip stitch that down. You could, if you wanted to, use a running stitch and top stitch around both sides.
Can I give you a cheat?
Go on.
For people who don't want to hand stitch all of it, Wonder Web.
Yes, a Wonder Web. They mentioned Wonder Web. Really handy.
You can Wonder Web it. So if you don't actually want to sit and hand slip stitch all of this, then you can put Wonder Web on there. Like the stuff that you use to cheat your hems.
Yes, trousers and things.
Yeah, then you can pop that on, and then even if it's just to hold it whilst you do it, it's entirely up to you. But there you go. That is your option.
How you do it.
That is hilarious.
That is hilarious. While you do your thing, I'm going to unpick it and redo it.
You'll come on next hour and you'll be like,
done it!
That's hilarious. Hello, girls.
Hello.
Guilty pleasure before the school run, doing great work.
Oh, you see, I would be doing that. I have done that occasionally, and then I get, Mummy, why are you watching the show you're on? I was like, because I like watching the show I'm on.
Oh, and now Producer Paul says, a word from Producer Paul.
Word from Producer Paul.
This morning. He says, please check out your baskets because I don't want anybody missing out. Now, if you are new, of course, our P&P, I shouldn't really explain this. Our P&P is done per day. It's added on at midnight. So you can check out your basket as many times as you like throughout the day. We don't charge you postage per time you check out. We just add it on at midnight. So check out, especially if stock's running low like today, please do check out your baskets and make sure that you have absolutely secured your order that you want, because having it just sat in your basket doesn't secure it. It just means that someone could ring up, and if they're on the phone, then it can be whipped out of your basket.
No, that's irritating.
Now, Jess, before we move on, is there anything else that you would like to tell us?
No, apart from pay attention when you're actually putting this together.
Don't chat and be distracted by other people.
But as you can see, if you've only done a little bit, you haven't done the whole thing.
Could you imagine if you'd done the whole thing? That would have been like, a bit more,
oh, where's the cake? I need to go and buy biscuits. You just sort of appear at your husband's face and going to buy biscuits now. And off you go. So there we are.
You're back in an hour.
I am back in an hour doing bags.
I'm expecting to see this.
It will be.
I imagine that you'll be there like, it should have been. But like you say, you've got 12 inches to unpick there.
Yeah,
it's not the end of the world.
No, it isn't.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'll see you in an hour. You crack me up. Right, come on then, you lot. Over to here. Let's have a look at the Alison Glass. Which one's most popular today, Producer Paul? Oh, the one that we've just been demoing with the Mosaic. But coming up in a close second is the Alison Glass. I love this one. Oh, I want to make this one. Here we go. So, I've just moved that grey there, the lovely linear grey there, so you can see it against the dark grey. So you can really get an idea of these colours. This is your Alison Glass, and I want to show you, where's my mermaid? Oh, here we go. Can I show you the mermaid? Because I think, especially because you've got that central square, it would be really lovely if this was your central piece and you could fussy cut. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. Hey, if you've got some fabric markers and you want to colour a bit in, you could, couldn't you? But I didn't say that. So if you want to do that, then you've got your Alison glass there, beautiful. You've also got this lovely violet linear, big fan of that, first time I've seen that. And then you've got that gorgeous pink, your linear grey, and then you've got that nice deep grey which sets everything off, and your thread, and of course your Quilt As You Go, which is the one that we've been using today on this blue Mosaic. So it's your Mosaic Magic, and you're going to get 5 meters in each of these bundles. So you're getting a huge amount of fabric. Lots of you with this in your baskets. Please check out if you definitely want it. There you go, there's your Mosaic. And the joy of this is that you get the whole kit, including your thread. So you're not having to try and match colours on the screen, which is a bit tricky sometimes. You're not trying to work out which proportions you need, because it's all done for you. We've done that hard work. We've sat there and worked out. I'm not great at converting yards to meters. So actually what we've done is if it's 1.5 yards that's needed, there you go, that's what you can make. That's one block. So you just do that however many times. Now, if you'd like Mosaic Magic by itself, ta-da, then that is $8.99 by itself. Maybe you're absolutely loving it and thinking, yeah, I'm going to do loads. I'm going to do loads. Well, you absolutely can. There it is. Lots of multi-buyers for these. $8.99, and it's brilliant because you can then go ahead and do your different designs, have a play. And then the last one, which isn't a Mosaic Magic, it's Rolling Stone. It's like that big starburst. I don't know why it's called a Rolling Stone when it does look like a starburst. I have no idea. Then you've got that. And this was the one that Jess had made for us in these wonderful rich colours, which look at that. So all 5 meters of fabric there, $54.99. This is what it will make look like made up. It is like a great big starburst, isn't it? It's fabulous. $54.99, LXGC 55. Now, after the break, you've been asking about the quilts behind us. Gosh, we've got loads of different quilts behind us today. So we have got for you some of the best-selling quilts that we've ever had on the shows, and they are going to be coming up after the break. We're going to go through them. We've got kits for you again, so you're not having to work out how much fabric you need, or does this colour go with that? Another thing that we all sort of worry about, we've done all of that. And then also there'll be the shows on YouTube that you can watch back and see how it's done. So we've got everything covered. You're in safe hands. See you in a moment.
Follow us on Pinterest. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to discover sewing work we create and love.
Hi, I'm Tilly Rose, and here are my 3 top tips. The first would be to actually be in the moment. Allow yourself to be surrounded by all those lovely fabrics and cloth and thread, and just take time out. Enjoy your stitching, whether that's machine embroidery or free motion or slow stitching. Just allow yourself to connect with the thread and cloth, and you'll enjoy the projects much more. So my second tip would be to allow yourself to go wrong. Give yourself permission to make mistakes, because we all learn from our mistakes. I've been sewing for a very, very long time, and I still make loads and loads of mistakes. But that's okay, because you can use those small little pieces in other projects later on down the line. But it's good, it's okay. So my third tip would be quite simply, break all the rules. If you want to experiment with different threads or different fabric, you might have read in a pattern or something that maybe you shouldn't do that, I would say, yeah, break the rules. And that's how you learn to allow your creativity to come through in your designs.
Simply Sewing is a magazine for dressmakers and home sewists who are passionate about fabrics and love to sew with stylish patterns. Each issue is packed with technical know-how, templates and easy to follow instructions to sew yourself quick wardrobe updates, accessories, plushy toys, gifts, bags and more. Plus, each issue comes with a free dress pattern from our expanding trend-led collection. We're proudly flying the flag for contemporary sewing with stylish patterns and beautiful photography to inspire sewists across the globe at every level.
Join us on Monday the 12th of February for a magical morning with infamous toy creator Jo Carter as she shares her brilliant new toy with us, the cutest fire-breathing dragon you'll ever see. First seen in Simply Sewing magazine, Jo Carter's soft dragon toy is available in 2 colours, flame red and monster green. The kit comes with everything you need to make a duo of dragons, including soft toy filling and fleecy fabric. There's even black eyes and embroidery thread included, so you can give the cheeky creature some character. So join us on Monday the 12th of February at 10 AM for a fiesta of dragons. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78 and Sky Channel 678. As soon as you place an order with us, we get to work on making your shopping experience that extra bit special. Our warehouse team pick your items and cut your fabric with the greatest care and precision. Cut fabric is neatly folded and packed in a tissue paper-lined presentation box. And when we're satisfied that it's just perfect, it gets the Sewing Quarter seal of approval. So whether you're giving a gift or treating yourself, you can shop with confidence, knowing your Sewing Quarter purchases will arrive in style.
Welcome back. Now, Pauline in Somerset, you asked last hour about this. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I've got it here for you, right in front of me here. So this is the kitty cat. Look at those. This is the kitty cat quilt. First aired during our birthday week, so this is a new one. Isn't it beautiful? So, graphics coming in for you now. There it is. 6.5 meters of fabric. And your threads, full instructions, MMGC 13. Do you want to have a look? Yay! So, instructions. This is designed by Judith Hollies. Here we are. So, full instructions. Look, these are all your cutting instructions here, all nicely put together. Or in a chart. I do like that. I do like a quick chart. And then look, you get your templates as well, so that you can do all the curvy bits. And then all of the different fabrics that you get, that you need. Now, what you'll notice, there is one slight difference to the one that you see here. And let me just show you what that is. This blue fabric here is actually going to be this with the white background here, which means that that white fabric there has been swapped in for a peacock blue. Okay, that's the only difference. That's it. Otherwise, it's exactly as is. So do you want to see it? Because, look, and this is, when we had this, I think we had the panel separately, and you went absolutely crazy for it. Look, we've got this back in. So this is a 60 centimetre panel. Now you get one of these. But look, so these give you your main characters. Isn't it fab? So if you are, or have someone in your life that is cat crazy, sometimes, you know, we get accused of loving dogs more, just because I've got a gorgeous dog and I talk about him a lot. But it's not the case. We love our cats too. Then here you go. And so those will go in whatever order you like around there. So you can see you've got these are these little bits here, but they're pieced in. So it's not just the whole panel and then you just sew around it. Now, we are limited on this because we didn't have too many of these panels. Let me show you all these other fabrics that you're getting with them. So in total, 6.5 meters. If you don't, oh, have I got, yeah. So we've got Kitty Gold Paws, we've got Kitty Multi-Chalk Stripe, which is that one. I love the multi-chalk stripe. It's fab, isn't it? What else have I got here? I've got the pink outline ones. I've got the blue outline ones. Let me show you the pink. It's not all in the same order. There's your blue outline ones. Let me spin that around so you can see those. They're nice, aren't they? There they are. Very nice fabrics. Lovely. Look at these. If you are any kind of cat lover, got you sorted. There you go. Look at these little chaps. Lots of you adding this to the basket. You are going to have to check out those baskets because when it's gone, this one. So we've managed to bring this back after birthday week. Look at it. Do you know what? This is a bright, happy one, isn't it? So this is one that is very up to date with its colours, with those lovely peacock blues and those cerise pinks, and dare I say it, chartreuse. Citrus colours coming through here. It's bright, it's bold, it's happy, it's cheery. It's going to put a smile on your face as you're quilting, which is quite frankly what we want to do. So that is the kit. That is everything that you need for $87.99. So that will do all of your patchwork front. Then how you wish to then quilt it is entirely up to you. That's your choice. But that gives you everything for the patchwork front, which is just wonderful. So I'm just piling up my fabrics. I love that chalk stripe. It's really good. So that you can see this panel underneath here, because the panel gives you the little pictures. It's a panel of pictures. Yeah, those little pictures there. And that's how it's quilted as well. You can just see, can you see, look, that's your little edge. Oh, no, hang on. That's not like, oh, that's why. There's me pointing it out. Okay? Well, you can just see that that's been pieced together like that. So each of these end up being blocks. So this is actually a patch block that you do there with all your different fabrics. There's all your different fabrics in there. And then this up here, that is another block. There, so those have been put together into one block, and then you've got strips down there. This is another block. That's a nice easy block. That's kind of like block size. So you've got one of each of those in each corner, and then these make up different. So when you start to break it down, there you go, look at that. So 6.5 meters in total, full instructions as well, and your thread. It's just wonderful. It's just utterly, utterly charming. But we are limited on this just because of the number of panels that we have. That's what that's all about. So here are your instructions. Very, very clear. Easy to follow instructions. Put my teeth back in. This is your kitty cat quilt. And you'll get full instructions. If everybody checks out, half of the stock has already gone. So full instructions, look at these. So here we go. Down here, all of your cutting instructions. Now the skew is how your fabrics will come in little bags with the skew written on it so that you will know and you will have that. So just make sure you put your fabric back in the right bag. But it also gives you the description of it and how much you have. And then you get your templates, which is great. And again, I love it when it says 100% scale. Yep, I'm not having to take that anywhere and try and scale it up, scale it down. No, that's exactly how it should be. And then down, it's even got your seam allowance on it. And then down here, it's showing you how to put them together. And then if you are confused at all as to which fabric is which, look, they're all then labeled again. So even if you do put it in the wrong bag, it doesn't matter because you've got it here as your reference yet again. So it is a little fabric checklist, and then you can decide which one you put where, although that is kind of also suggested for you. Isn't that lovely? I like it a lot. So if you love your cats, like these cats, there they are. I have two. I have Hugo and HP. And Hugo is very much the boss. Now, you have to check out this bundle because otherwise there'll be tears. Now, let's put that one down there. Let's have a look at the Bargello. Do you want to have a look at the white-edged one? Or bear with me, caller. Now, every time we put this up behind us for a show, we get questions about it. What is it? Where does it come from? How do I get my hands on it? Because it's a bit of a showstopper, this one. I love it. If, quite frankly, you require all the colour, look at this. Now, it looks so technically challenging, but I'll tell you this, it's straight lines. So as long as you are happy to cut straight lines, different size straight lines, and sew them together, you are good to go. But isn't the effect stunning? It is utterly spectacular. Isn't that brilliant? You can make it slightly different. We'll show you other ways in which you can put it together. There we are. I just think it's gorgeous. Now we have got the kit for you. Again, this is a whopping 6.5 meters for you here. So you can see all these beautiful colours. Now, what I love about this is that you've got the colours, but actually when you come in for a little bit of detail, those colours aren't just solid colours. You've got some spots in there. You've got some textures in there. So there's interest even as you get up close. It's a fabulous optical illusion. And I love this about quilting, is when you have to really take stock and look and go, how has that been put together? How has that been done? But this is just gorgeous. You don't have to have it down. You can have it across. It's entirely up to you. It's, wow, yeah, it's stunning. Now look at all this fabric, because you are going to get a whopping 6.5 meters in here. Here we are. So, I mean, look, you've got a veritable rainbow going on in here. So you are getting, hang on, I've got it here. You're getting your azalea in your linear. Let me find you all these linears. These aren't all in colour order as I read them out, but if I just, here we go. So there we go. I love that. That's your optical white. That's your optical white, which is just fabulous. Spot on sunshine, which is that one. Then you've got your solid yellow there, real purple there, lime green, oh yeah. Then you've got your pumpkin there. Oh no, pumpkin in your linear there. And then your azalea there. And then you've also got your linear peacock. Love that one. They're all your different colours. You've got your red spot on in there as well. Beautiful. So all of those, and then of course that optical white, which is there to make all those colours pop. Quite frankly, on a grey old day like today, this is what you need. Do you want to see all the instructions as well? Full instructions as to how you put that all together, how you cut it, how you put it together. You see, there you go. It does look different, doesn't it, on its side? You see, this is one that I wouldn't want to just have, you know, just on a spare bed. This would have to be out. Maybe this is one I would pop on the wall. Going up the stairs, pop it on the wall up the stairs. That's beautiful. So all of those colours, you've got a rainbow in your house, a rainbow in your room, and it's going to be absolutely stunning. And of course, all 100% cotton in those fabrics there. There it is. There it is. Oh, a little note for you. The kitty cat is going to sell out. So if you've got it in your basket, we've got 3 left, but more of you have it in your basket. So it is that moment where fastest finger wins. So whoever checks out first will get it, and those who don't will be disappointed. So please, if you've absolutely got your heart set on it, either call, it's free to do so, 0800 112 4433, or just check it out. Check it out. Yeah, okay, well, this one, Producer Paul, got to start checking out on this one as well. Oh, 4 of you just popped this in the basket as well. So we are, yeah, it's going to be, it's gonna go. I think they're all gonna go today, because what we've done this hour is we've brought you the best of the best. These are the ones that you have absolutely loved. With good reason, you know. How to make a Bargello quilt. Well, firstly, source all your fabrics. Oh no, it's all right, done that. Done it. Look at that. Different designs. Whoa! Hey, doesn't that look... That looks a bit Art Deco-y, doesn't it? I like. Oh. Here's the kit. That's what you're getting. $58.99. So that gives you everything for your patchwork front, which is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Now, maybe you're going, well, yeah, you know what, Tash, I do like that. However, what about this version? So this is the Bargello again. So instead of having that white sashing, you've got, in this one actually it's a navy. Now we're limited on this. We only have a few of these. We could only put a few of these together. These are our jewel tones, and I love these. Doesn't it look different just being put together that way? Now the instructions the same. So you could do it, hang on, you could do it in that layout. You could do it in that one, or you could lay it out like that. It's entirely up to you. Now obviously different fabric colours, and this one's got the white edge and this one's got the dark edge, but how you then lay it out, this was just another example of how you would put those Bargello blocks together. Ta-da! It's just wonderful. That makes me, it just reminds me of flowers opening. Now here we go, let me show you this bundle here. It's a very different look, isn't it? Love it. So again, exactly the same instructions. So you could make it exactly like the white one if that was how you wanted to do it, but actually you want the dark surround, then these are the colors. So again, $58.99, 6.5 whooping meters of fabric. And again in here, you've got a lovely mix of your linear and your plains, so you've got some interest in there, you've got some different colour. Oh, if everybody checks out it's gone, should I not even bother to, oh gosh. Okay, there's like 3 times the number of people with it in the basket than we actually have stock of. So as soon as you check out your baskets, it will be gone. It's not yours until you've actually pressed checkout and gone through to that. And this is the fabric that you will be getting, plus your thread, all in there. So that gives you all of your front of your quilt. So $58.99, and then whatever you want to do. Too many in the basket. If I've got to get rid of this, people will miss out if you don't check out. It's a stunner, isn't it? It's an absolute stunner. In here, oh, we're going to finish it now. I'm a bit sad about that. I really like that one. One more Bargello. So if you just missed out there and you're kicking yourself because you weren't quite quick enough, don't hurt yourself. Don't do that. Maybe, hey, now this is a nice one coming into spring and summer, because, you know, spring and summer apparently is going to happen. Apparently it does every year. I always get to this time of year and think, does it? Is it actually going to happen? Right. Because, now I don't have this made up. Ooh, I don't have this made up. But this is a sorbet collection. So I think, what about for those who love their pastel tones, maybe you're making for a newborn, maybe there's a little one on the way, and you want to get those softer tones, those softer palettes coming through. Then look at the, oh, hang on. How does that happen? Oh, it's because it hasn't got the linear. The linear is a more expensive fabric. Okay, nice. So here, well, that makes me happy already. $48.99. And I just think this is going to be beautiful in so many different settings. Here we go. So here they all are. That is like I've just walked into my favourite sweet shop. Yeah. Now we've called these sorbets. Actually, do you know what? My mum loves a sorbet. And having lived in Cornwall, everywhere you go in the summer, there's a nice ice cream shop. That's just heaven, isn't it? But if you want those softer tones, you're still going to get that wow factor from the design, because it can't help but wow. But if you want something a little bit more muted, a little softer, then this is really the one to go for. And it's $48.99. We just don't have a made-up version of it. Oh, the Bargello jewel has sold out. Congratulations to those of you. That's the one on the wall with the navy surround. We've still got some of the white, not many, gosh. And now we've got this one for you. I think, oh, there's one kitty cat left as well. So if you're after the kitty cat quilt, please don't ask me to say that quickly. Then please check out your baskets for that. I love that you are getting involved, getting your quilts, getting the ones that you've wanted for ages. It makes me so happy because you know you're doing it, you're watching, and you're actually making, and that's perfect, beautiful. Now let's have a look at these colours. So in here we have got ivory. So that's going to be how you do your strips, your sashes around. That's going to be in that lovely ivory, getting a lot of that one. Now I've got baby blue in here. I've also got vintage blue. You see, look, just look at how those just a tone apart, and it's beautiful. Now I've got mint. I've got mauve. Oh, this is your lemon. I love that. This one here is my latte. That's a nice neutral in there, isn't it? Gosh, 6 of you have just popped this in your basket just as we go. I've got coral in there. I've got mauve mist. Oh no, that's my coral. Hang on, which one's this one? Oh, that's my flamingo. Yeah, it's all in there. So I've got all of these in here. $48.99, MMGC 26. Loads of you just pop that in your basket. And again, exactly the same instructions. It's just going to give you a softer tone, a softer palette. I would absolutely love to see what you're going to do with it. Now this here gives you ideas as to how you can piece it. So we've had one like that. It's entirely up to you. And just look the difference as I just spin that around. Isn't it gorgeous? This is one to hang on the wall, isn't it? Because it's such an optical illusion. Now, if everybody checks out, this one has now gone too. Can you just, if you've just bought this, can you message me in and let me know who you're making it for? Because I would really like to know, are you making this for yourself or are you making this for somebody else? I'd love to know who people make quilts for. Because my very first quilt that I was given, my mum had made for us by her very clever friend Lynn. And she had it made for myself and my husband on our wedding day. So it has our initials and the date of our wedding on there. And it's beautiful. It's now a family heirloom, and that's whether Freddie likes it or not, he's getting it. Right. Should we have a little trip around the world? Should we do that? Now, oh gosh, hang on. I've got a great big pile over here. I tell you what, if we ever have a power cut and gets cold in here, we're all right, aren't we? That's Cafe. I'm going to put that over in the Cafe department over here. Can we do Cafe? Just because it's there. Let's do Cafe. Oh, okay, now we're limited on this. Now, there's a lovely lady on our Facebook fan page, and I completely forget your name. Apologies for that. I meant to look up and remind myself who it was. And she'd just done a really beautiful cathedral window cushion. And she'd actually asked the question, and I meant to look it up, and I will do. She asked the question of, if I want to do one for a bed quilt, what sizes do I need to start with? Well, look, here, you're going to get the full, oh, you don't get the cat, by the way. Just like to really clarify, don't get the cat. So this is your cathedral window quilt. You're getting 6 meters in total of fabric here. But look here, that's the large version. And you see if that's kind of cushion that maybe you want to start off with a cushion and then you want to make this. This is our version with the grey and the red. Full step-by-step instructions, and it will also give you the sizes to cut things down. Finished, this gives you a 37.5 by 37.5 squared quilt. Now, what I really love about this is that you're getting here a 6-inch design strip from K Facet. Love, love, love this. So you are getting 20 6-inch strips. So that's going to be around 44 inches by 6 inches. This is from his Sunshine range, okay? So look at all these colours. Now, Kaffe doesn't design alone. The colours are Kaffe, and some of these are absolutely his own, but he also designs with, he calls themselves the Three Musketeers. And so he also designs with Brendan Mabley and also Philip Jacobs. So if we look at the quilt here, then you can see anything that looks faintly botanical, like that or that or that will be Philip Jacobs. If it looks entirely wacky, like your Can girls up here, then we know that that's Brandon. And then Kaffe is in charge of all the colours. We've got Kaffe designs in there as well. Look, I mean, some of these are just, you just know they're Kaffe. Look at these. So you've got that mix and that variety of colour. What we've done is we've put it with the grey, because then it allows that rest for the Kaffe colours to really pop. But because this is the sunshine range, it's a mix of your oranges and your yellows and all those warm sunshine colours that make us really happy. So we wanted to edge it in a red, which then pulls the whole thing together. So you've got the grey that allows your eye to rest, to really allow Kaffe's colours to come through. Beautiful. And then it's just framed. Framing makes all the difference, doesn't it? It's like when you have a picture, a good frame will make all the difference. So we've put this lovely rich red around there, which will pull out, there's that red in there. You've got some of that red in there. So you've got reds throughout it. You've got pinks, you've got yellows. You've even got, look, you've got some zesty greens in there as well. It's just fabulous. And you are getting, here we go. You've got your red, so that is going to be your binding. And then you've got an awful lot here of your grey. Now, these fabrics, this is, when we say it's 6 meters, that's just 6 meters in your grey and your red. That's your 6 meters there. On top of that, what you're getting are your 26-inch design strips from the Kaffe Fassett Sunshine collection. So you've got all of that. So the 6 meters is purely in that red and in that grey. Because of course, when you do the cathedral window, there's a lot of folding that goes on. So there's a lot of extra fabric through here, which is just beautiful. Now we've had an email through, talking of Kaffe apparently. Let's have a look. Ooh, look at this. Ben from Nottingham. Oh, lovely to hear from a gentleman quilter. Says, hi, Natasha. Knowing how we both love Kaffe's beautiful fabric. Yeah, I can't hide that, can I? Look at that. So I thought you might want to see what I did with the half moon kit my husband bought me last year for my birthday. I had to do something special to make the most of all the beautiful colours. Also did free motion for the first time. I love, love, love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, that was the first ever full-on Kaffe Fassett kit that we ever brought to air. It was the half moon kit, because in the half moon kit it was done in kind of 4 bits, 4 quarters and then 1 turned. But you see, look at the detail. Each of those is individually done. Bit like Bargello. Each of those is individually cut and stitched. That's beautiful. And you can see what we were lucky enough to have is that backing fabric was especially done for Kaffe. And it's super wide. He has it done so that it's the width of the Kaffe. That is beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh, clever thing. Yes. Oh, sorbet sold out. Right, let me get rid of that. Well done. All right, hang on. I've got my head under the desk. I can't hear what you're saying, producer. But what was that? Oh, trip around the world. Yes, let's find that. Now, let's have a look. I've got... Can I do the other trip around the world? Because I've got the trip around the world, the normal trip around the world. Now, here we go. For your trip around the world, by the way, you won't get like scrunchy. You'll get nice instructions. We've just got a bit excited with ours. Let me show you all these colours. Oh, this has got the spray time fabrics in. I still want to go and call it spray tan. I get told off for that. It's not spray tan. But look at all of these gorgeous colours. Now, yeah, we have got to finish one of these producer pools. What I've got is, And now I wanted to do this one because Producer Paul's just saying, have we got a finished one of this? Oh, look, there's that violet linear that I've just discovered that I really like. Next to the grey, beautiful. Now, there you go, there's your backing. Right, okay, so these are your colours. Now, the Around the World quilt looks like this, but we've got it in different colourway. We've got it in this one as well, but I just wanted to show you that's what you're aiming for. Okay. And I'll show you that one in just a minute. I've got that one as well, okay? So you pick which one you want, but I want to show you, look, it's scrunched up. Okay, when you do this, and so I'm so pleased that we just had that email about the half moon quilt, because the fabric, that wasn't how the quilt was designed. It was designed differently, but I love that you've put your own twist on it. So if you want to do the Around the World quilt exactly as what the instructions tell you, then it's going to come together, hang on, a bit like this. Here we go. There we go. And we start going around the world like this. And so as you can see, they come together. Oh, there we go. In your blocks like that. We're missing a layer on this one. That's all right. Okay. So we've got another strip to add into that. But here's the thing. I'm so pleased that we just mentioned the half moon, because the half moon quilt that we sold, which was the K Facet one, basically was like that. And then it just had one spun around like that. And I remember one of the guys who was the buyer at the time, it did his head in. He couldn't work it. It's like, you can't do it like that. And we all loved it. And he was like, but they've got it wrong. No, this is your design choice. So it might be that you want to, because you'll build up your blocks, so you'll have your 4 blocks, and it might be that you want to do it like that. This is where you get to design. You will have 4 of these, and how you want to do it is entirely to you. You might want to have, oh, hang on, this is great. Hang on, I need a bigger desk. I'm just going to pop that down there. Well, oh, hang on, it should have been £89. Oh, nice, very nice. What if? You could do it like that, or you could do it like that. And then you could do it so that if you wanted to make it into a table runner, because of course we just provide you with the fabric, how you do it is entirely up to you. I'm throwing everything all over the place. Look at that. So you could have it as a table runner like that. It's entirely up to you. Once you've done those blocks, we give you the instructions. I've thrown everything on the floor, sorry, in my excitement. Once you've done the blocks, you can put them together however you like. So that could be, you know how some people just have that quilt at the bottom of the bed? I like to think of it as a cat quilt, because that's where my cat would always lie, just on that base bit, that bottom bit. Love that. 7 meters of fabric and a discount. Hello. Oh, do you want to see? Here we go. These are the instructions. Yours will not be in the state that ours are, but you do get your full instructions with it as well. So don't worry about that. Full instructions coming with it. So all your cutting instructions, how to, joining the blocks. These are, they're all the same size strips. Now, right, let's, Now you could do these so that they are like that, or you could then do them so that they're then like that, or you might want to, or you might want to do it the green in the the middle. Again, we're missing one. It's up to you. It's up to you. I like that. But you've got to check out your baskets. We've taken a discount on this. I don't know, why is it discounted? It was £89, it's down to £74.99. Hey, look, I'm not going to argue about that. That's great. Happy days. Now, this is a beginner quilt, believe it or not. And if you've ever worried about cutting, by the time you cut out all these bits, don't worry anymore. Now, around the world, I've got a bright version as well. What were we calling that one? Oh, that was Trip Around the World. And then we've got an Around the World in Brights, which is this one. Woo! Gotcha. Hey, look at this. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Isn't that lovely? How much have we got this in stock? Oh, only 7 left. Hang on, you get your wadding and your thread, by the way, in these two. Kept meant to say that. 7 meters and wadding and thread for $59.99. That's a bit of a bargain, isn't it? Oh, I'm liking that. Yeah. Oh, these colours, they make me so happy. These are beautiful. So this is your Round the World. I might have instructions somewhere. I don't know what I've done with them. Oh, okay, you might not get them. What? No. There you go. So there's all of your colours. Now this was on air, so you can watch back. You can watch back how to do this when we did this on a show. So these are all your fabrics. And if you go on YouTube and put in sewing quarter, 4th of December. What hour was it? It was at 8 o'clock, so it's the very first one that you'll come across. So sewing quarter, 4th of December, and the tutorial for this. Grab yourself a cup of tea, sit down, go through exactly how to make this. I love it. It's beautiful, isn't it? You could English paper piece that, couldn't you? Hang on, what? Under £60 for 7 meters of fabric and wadding and thread? Yeah. Imagine that thrown over the back of your sofa. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. That's great value, isn't it? And again, this one isn't such a huge quilt to make either. So, you know, this is very achievable. Very doable. You've not got huge amounts to work around. Half of the stock gone already. Well done. Good job. So APGC 77. Here's the bundle. $59.99. APGC 77. Nice. Very nice. Oh, we promised you bags, didn't we? I forgot about that. Should we go and have a look at those? Come on then. Have a little wander over to here. Now, oh, we've got bags and we've got letters. I've got the letters, look, I found them. Hang on, let me. So I can't do this back to front in the. So, yeah. Aren't they fun? Just, you know, just a little bit of fun. Maybe you want to make them into pincushions, whatever. I don't know. You could just have them up. Or more likely in my house, if I did another M, mess. But, so, brilliant. So if you want to make those, I've got 2 different kits for you. I have got a pink kit. Oh, this is the really nice gingham. Now, not all ginghams are created equal. Some are printed, and you know, nothing against printed gingham, but it's printed. This is linen dyed. So basically, your yarn dyed. Sorry, so your yarn is dyed the colour that it needs to be, and then it's woven by those colours. So you can see that it's exactly the same back and front because it is yarn dyed. So it's not a printed gingham, this is yarn dyed gingham. which is lovely. And it's so soft as well. So we've put 1/2 metre of that with 1/2 metre of that pink. And let me show you the instructions in here, because we've said so, okay, just, you know, as something. But if you have a little one and maybe you'd just like to do their initials, then we give you the tutorial as to how to do the sew, but we give you the letters for the entire alphabet. So you don't have to do sew. You could do initials if you wanted, or hi, or, you know, whatever you like, you can do that. Once you've got all of the templates, and this is what I really love about this. So you can make these up for your kids' room, you can personalize, you've got fabric ready to go, and the thread as well. You've got metre of fabric and the thread all ready to go. And I think you're also getting the filling as well. It's all in there. So it's a complete kit for under £20. Hang on, there's more. Okay, it's not, I'd just like to say, we do know it's not in alphabetical order. It's just how they fit on the page, all right? Because W's a bit greedy, he wants like whole page for himself. Okay, so full instructions, full templates, it's all there. Not in alphabetical order, but, you know, find the letters that you want. This would be great if you've got kids and they're learning the alphabet like my Freddie is at the moment. Every time he sees F, he says, "That's my letter. Mummy, that's my letter." It's like, "Yes, darling, it is." We're now moving on to R's as well. And trying to explain the difference between a B and a D. Gosh. Anyway, that's your pink version. We've got it in blue. Exactly the same instructions. So your whole alphabet and full instructions. Photographic as well. And you get the filling and you get the thread. All in. That's a great price, isn't it? I love the blue. So 1/2 metre. That lovely, lovely, rich indigo-y colour there. I think we call it navy, but for me that's indigo. And then you've got your yarn-dyed gingham there, which is super, super soft. Beautiful. For £19.99. I always think what a lovely gift for a newborn. Just their initials. And also because it's nice and soft and squidgy. Because you can get the ones that light up, but they can't throw those around the room, can they? And play with those and cuddle them and everything else. So there we go. That's £19.99. It gives you a good start. Now, right. What I've also got. Oh, do you remember, Paul, when we first brought this to air? It absolutely flew out. Sometimes if you're just starting out with a plique, what do I need? What do I need? Not quite sure. So what we did is, because personalisation is key here, isn't it? It's really on trend at the moment, personalise things. But sometimes it's difficult to find a really nice font. Not only that, but also, if you were to try and do this and find a font on your computer, you've also then got to flip it and get it the wrong way round so that when you applique it, it'll be the correct way round. And so we've done that for you. You've got the entire alphabet in there. They're all there. What we've also put for you is your heat and seal and your Bonder web. Now, what's the difference? I hear you say, Natasha, what's going on? So your Bonder web is a lighter fusible. Okay. So for lighter items, you would use your Bonder web. If you are using something more sturdy, maybe you're going with some leather or some denim, then you'd use your heat and seal. I think I've got that around the right way. Yeah. Oh, this is your thinner one. That's for your thicker one. Sorry, wrong way around. So because this is your light. So this will do your softness. It's got good softness as well, and it's breathable. But you can use this on leather and denim. So you've got it for your different fabrics. But then we've also put in, and this is the fab thing, we've also put in a fabric pencil, because you need to trace. So you trace off your letters onto your Bonder web. You then iron that down onto your fabric. Then you cut closely. So you rough cut first, then you cut closely onto the letter, and then off you go. It's brilliant. £22.49 for that. MRGC88. Nice. Here it all is. So you get your numbers, you get your letters. There's a lot. Actually, can I open that up and show you all these templates? Because there's a lot in here, and I want you to see all of it. But this is great for personalising on bags, on plain t-shirts and things like that, on quilts if you wanted to spell things out. Maybe you want to do an alphabet quilt for your little ones or something and put a different letter into each one. Then you've got your uppercase. Here they are. There we go. So you've got nice large letters there. And again, they're the correct way around because otherwise you kind of forget to flip them. So we've got, can I just show you the difference as well? We've got big and small. Lowercase as well. So you've got the whole lot in here. This is great. There's pages and pages and pages of this. And then you've also got your numbers as well. So maybe you're doing something for a birthday. You've got all of those. So you've got uppercase, lowercase, you've got uppercase in 2 different sizes, and you've got your numbers, and you've got your fabric pencil, and you've got your Bonder web, and you've got your heat and seal light, all in there. And there is the whole kit. Now this went, whew, it flew out the first time we ever brought this to air. So there we go, $22.49 for that. Oh, no, we said bags. Now, this is the one that we're doing next hour with Jess. Pop that up there. But this is the bag that we've got for you. I like this one. It's a slightly unusual shape. And that makes me a bit happy. So it's pleated. You're going to learn how to pleat on this one, which then means that it's really roomy inside because it's kind of bulbous at the bottom. And it's all beautifully lined. So but that gives you an idea about the lining, but you've got different linings. So let me show you the different sets that we have for you. Now, this is my new favorite thing. It's our webbing straps. Because sometimes making the handles is a bit of a bind. So don't worry, these are great. These are done, easy to sew through. You've got your thread as well. And here you've got your full instructions. Let me show you. Full instructions, which is great. And if you've had any of our instructions, you know. Now this gives you the template. Well, this gives you instructions as to how to do that pleating. Because the top of the bag is pleated, which is really lovely. So it gives you that. And these are your different fabrics. Okay, so you've got, this is going to be your main bag fabric, isn't it? And then you've got one for around the top, and then you've got lining. Interchangeable, you decide, but they're your 3 different fabrics, plus your strap, plus your thread, plus your instructions, all in for $21.99. So if you fancy a bit of pleating, maybe you're into a bit of dressmaking, but actually pleating worries you a little bit, why don't you try it on a bag first, where it's not, it's not so vital. Now, let's have a look at this. So different colourways here. It's exactly the same instructions, but yeah, look at these. Bit retro, this one, isn't it? Love it. So we've got that one. You've got these 2 different colourways. So you've got your contrast as well. Now this is $22.99. It'll just be that you've got, there you go, and your thread as well. $22.99 for that. That's fresh and zesty, isn't it? That, love it. And then the last option, do you know this gives you a different coloured strap and a linear fabric as well. So again, full instructions, a more neutral coloured thread strap. Do you know what I'm saying, really? And then full instructions, and again, this is your bag, your base bag. Now here we've given you a linear rather than a plain, but then we've also got that lining, well, interchangeable, whichever one. And you can see here it picks up the colour from that fabric absolutely beautifully. So that's $24.99. The price difference is just due to which fabrics are in there and their price. So there we go. That's your whole bundle. You're still getting the same amount. And that's a beautiful thing. Excuse me, my voice is going. Okay. Oh my gosh, I've just seen the time. Where did the hour go? Now, the Bargello behind me here. we still have some available. The others have gone, okay? Need to know the others have gone. Should I come over here? There you go, it's easier, isn't it? So we still have some of these. $58.99, that will give you the full front. If you've got it in your basket, please check out. Now, here's your kit coming up on your screen now. There we go. Yeah. Now, let's have a look. So we have got all these gorgeous fabrics. So in this, you've got spots, you've got plains, and you've also got the lovely linears. Do you like linears? They're fabulous mixers and blenders to have as well. So these are the beautiful colours that you're getting. Now, the optical white for me is what sets that whole quilt off. Having that beautiful bright white really sets off all the colours there. So that's your bright white there. That's your, and that is called, if you're ever looking for it, because we do sell that by the half metre, it's $3.25 per half metre, but if you're ever looking for that online in our fabrics by the half metre, that is optical white. Okay, now we have also got, let's have a look. We've got bright orange. We have got lime green. We've got linear in your peacock. We've got that beautiful blue spot on. We've also got real purple. We've got, well, yellow. I think they gave up giving it a fancy colour there. There's your red spot on. You've got your sunshine spot on. Then you've also got your pumpkin in your linear. And you've also got your azalea linear as well. And your thread. And full instructions. There you go. So you can make it however you wish. But there it is. There are your instructions. That's how it all goes together. These are all your cutting instructions here. This is always one that everybody always asks about when they see it on the wall, and it is absolutely a showstopper. Absolutely love that. Do you know, I'd be chuffed to bits if I'd made that. Just wouldn't you? Be like, yeah. $58.99 for 6.5 meters of thread. Of thread? 6.5 meters of thread? What am I talking about? 6.5 meters of fabric. You get your thread. I'm looking at the thread. You get that in there as well. That's at $58.99. MNGC 99. All of that. Coming to you. Postage is only $2.95 per day. Lovely. So that's $58.99, 6.5 meters of fabric, and you can be making that. You can be achieving that. That is all straight lines, okay? The cutting, you know, you've got to get your head around the cutting, but sewing it together, all straight lines. So that's the really easy bit. Now, Alison, oh, fab, look at this. Ah, she says, I've recently finished this quilt and I've really enjoyed making it. Great shows. Think I'm addicted. That's okay, won't tell anyone. Alison from our church, thank you so much. That is beautiful. And I love how you've quilted that. Oh, that's gorgeous. You see, how you quilt it as well, very personal choice how you quilt it, but it changes it. So every single quilt, that's what I love about quilting. Every single one is different. Every single one has your own personal touch to it. Beautiful. And we do love to see everything that you've done. So, you know, please do send in your pictures. Thank you to everyone that has sent in. Now, we've got some, here's your email. Oh yeah, if you missed the start of the show, you won't know where you're emailing to, will you? Let's give you the email address. So that's studio@sewingquarter.com. That's where you need to email into. Now, oh yeah, now I should mention actually, because we do have lots of new people. Where is it? I don't know where it is. Oh, here we go, there you go. Basically, if you are new to us, and lots of you are, then what we're going to do is anybody who is new and in their first order places an order for over £10, then you will get, you don't have to, you don't have to do anything other than just place your order. We will then automatically add in this, which is a really handy size A4 self-healing cutting mat. So if you do lots of fussy cutting or something like that, then this is your self-healing cutting mat here. So that when you cut into it, you don't get the lines because it self-heals. And it's just a really handy little size. I don't know about you, but that will do. I'm doing a lot of English paper piecing at the moment, so if you're cutting things out like that, perfect size for that. Everybody should have a range of sizes of cutting mats. And if you're just trimming something down, then you've got that. I know it's probably not. God, I'm losing my voice. So thank you ever so much for all of those new people as well who've just joined us, new viewers, new customers. It's always lovely to have you. And as you can see, it's a very, very friendly place to be, but everybody likes to share their makes and inspire each other. It's really lovely. It's a nice positive place to be. Right, let's have a look at another email. Now this is from Sarah. Oh, wow. She says, morning, Tash. Loving the shows. This is my attempt. I think you'd put yourself down a bit there. Attempt. It looks amazing. At Trip Around the World. So far, also doing a rainbow quilt, but I had to indulge myself in a plique cafe butterflies on it. Perfect. I like your style of indulgence. That's fabulous. Now, if we're talking a trip around the world, then, was that the one with all the bits that, yeah, here we go. Trip around the world is this one here. These colourways, do you know what? I wouldn't normally go for greens and purples and greys, but I love it. You see, this is where sometimes having somebody else put those colours together for you just works a treat. Do you know what I forgot to say? You also get your wadding in with this as well, which is fab. So, whoop, that's everything you get in. Can we have a play with this again? Oh, I've got a minute. What? Oh, come on, quick play. Producer Paul. Sets it. You can do it in a minute, can't you, Tash? Can I? There we go. Halfway there, we can do this. And again, so you do it per block. And you just pop them together. Oh, that's missing a line, isn't it? I wonder where that is. Must be somewhere. Oh, you do need to start checking out your baskets. Please do check out your baskets. But look, you see, you can be making this. You're going to be achieving this, which is fabulous. We've had 3 quilts sell out. But if you want to be making that trip around the world, then this is all the fabric that you need to do so. You even get your wadding, everything that you need there for £74.99. Is that not just beautiful? Now, hang on, that was £89. Should have been, but it's not. It's £74.99. Who am I to argue? Now, back after the break, lovely Jess is back with us, and she's brought us a bag that she has designed herself. So I can't wait for that, and we've got it in some beautiful Tim Holtz. And lovely, see you in a second.
Join us on Facebook. Simply search for The Sewing Quarter and like our page for the latest news and more.
So I'm going to be showing you how to do a ladder stitch. Now this is a great stitch when you want to sew something up and create an invisible stitch. And first of all, I'm just going to use the example of something like a pincushion, but I need to bring these 2 edges together using the invisible stitch, which is known as the ladder stitch. So first of all, I'm going to take my needle up through the fold. So I'm going to be concealing the knot in the thread. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle in through the fold of the fabric and come out. So you can see that I'm on the actual fold there. So obviously there's the raw edges are inside my pincushion. I'm going to take that through. Now I'm going to go to the opposite side and repeat that stitch. So I want to make sure that this is parallel. So I'm going to come in through that fold and come out. So again, I'm making these stitches really big so you can see what I'm doing. So you can see how I'm going across the whole of the fabric. So if I just keep doing a few stitches. So as you can see, we have the ladder stitch there going across the two pieces of fabric. So when I pull my thread, you can see that almost makes those stitches invisible.
As soon as you place an order with us, we get to work on making your shopping experience that extra bit special. Our warehouse team pick your items and cut your fabric with the greatest care and precision. Cut fabric is neatly folded and packed in a tissue paper lined presentation box. And when we're satisfied that it's just perfect, it gets the Sew & Quarter seal of approval. So whether you're giving a gift or treating yourself, you can shop with confidence, knowing your Sew & Quarter purchases will arrive in style.
Spring into the weekend with a new softie by Jo Carter. The fabulous toy designer is joining us this Saturday at 9 AM sewing a sweet lamb toy. Our new kit includes enough fabric to make 2 little lambs with plain and textured fleece fabrics for the body and legs, plus spotty orange and green prints for the feet and ears. Add a spring to someone's step and create these little lambs as an Easter gift or simply treat yourself. So join us at 9 AM on Saturday the 10th of February for an hour of fun with Jo and me, John. Only on Sew & Quarter, Freeview Channel 78 and Sky Channel 678.
Caught having a cheeky bit of apple. That was quite nice. A bit crunchier than I thought. Hello, welcome back, by the way. Did you manage to grab a quick snack in the break? Hope you did. Hope you're comfortable, ready for the next hour. Right, snap to it, says producer Paul. He's not being rude, it's okay. This is the Snap to It kit. I'm just going to show you this first because you're going to have some fabric left over from these kits, and what better way to use it than to make yourself a matching purse or wallet or coin purse. Now, $18.99, you get full instructions as to how to make your little snap purses, coin kits. Jess has got one shaped like a fish and she keeps showing it to me. She's very impressed with it. But you get full instructions as to how to do those. And, yeah, you get this. You get 10 snaps. Look at these. This is brilliant. So by snap, I mean these. Yay! Now, you get 2 big ones with the nice round. You see these nice and chunky? Yeah. So you get 2 big ones. And then, oh, you get the nice curved ones. So it's 2 of each design. Medium size, smaller size, curve and sort of rectangular. So you're getting all of those, plus your instructions. So hang on, that's less than £2 a snap. That's less than £2 a snap clip top thing. Yeah, that's descriptive, isn't it? Snap clip top thing. Those, what you're looking at on the screen.
Handles.
So that is incredible value. Then you add your favourite fabrics. They're Jo Carter's instructions, so you know they're going to be fab, you know they're going to make sense, and you know they're going to be easy to use. These are your instructions here. So these are all your lovely clips. So you see, when you have fabrics left over, make yourself a little matching something. And she really goes into great detail as to how you then cut your fabric, make a pattern for each of these clasp tops. Because you might want a really deep one if you're filling it full of makeup, or you might want a shallower one if it's got to fit in a little bag, or if you're having it as a clutch. It's entirely up to you, but all of the instructions are very clearly written down here. Even a few tips over here. So Jo Carter's done these. We've done these on the shows as well. We've done all sorts of different ones. I think my favourite one had the, you know, we did the panda pop quilt, and then she did the different animals, and she did one with a lion. Brilliant, love it. So you'll be able to look up all of those shows as well. Lots of you coming in for these. It's $18.99. Like I say, even if you ignore, say you got the instructions for free, then we're still looking at under £1.90 per snap top, which is amazing value. Absolutely awesome value. So that was just a little aside, just a little tease, because we can. Because actually, this is what we're making today. Now, this is lovely Jess Entwistle's own design. You might have seen this. Was this in one of the magazines? Which magazine was this in?
Last Simply Sewing.
Last Simply Sewing it was in. But it's looking a bit different because you did it in flowers and stuff. What we've done, we've given you 3 different versions. So here's the kit. If you want to make it exactly as I have it over my shoulder, exactly as it is, then this is what you will be getting. Are we limited on this one? Okay, so we don't have oodles and oodles of this. You get, look, Jess's wonderful instructions and photographic instructions. And this is what I said. She's done a version, so you've got different variations depending on how you want to do your straps, because you can do it so that you can add your yoga mat on it, which appeals to me massively, or not, entirely up to you. And there are all your instructions, and then all your templates. So all of those. So you're going to get 2.5 meters in here. Oh, can I just show you, actually, this is the first thing. Look at the size of that zip. It's a whopper. It's proper chunky, that. I like. Yeah. There you go. And it's in a nice curve over the bag. She's not been. So you're getting 1 meter of the Tim Holtz. I love this fabric. You get 1 meter cappuccino and 1/2 meter of the red. But I just want to show you this as a fabric. I absolutely adore. We're limited on this particular design, but that's only because we don't have oodles of this love. Now, what you'll notice is that we've got the red that will pick up the red, because there's just a little bit of red in here. It's quite industrial, this, but it's really rather wonderful. Woohoo! Why can't I keep threads on the actual desk today? It's rolling around all over the shop. Right, okay, now Heather Bailey. Now, it's behind me. This is a great example of how different things look in 2 different fabrics. Exactly the same design. That's your Tim Holtz, and this is your Heather Bailey. It's fab, isn't it? So, quick costume change. Now, oh yeah, that's the thread I threw on the floor. Full instructions again, and you are going to get 1 meter of your Heather Bailey, 1 meter of that cracking blue there. What's the actual name of that blue? Is it Azure? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know, anyway. But I love those colours together. Look at that. And your thread. Oh, it's turquoise, is it? Look at, you get that nice zip there. And you're good to go. Nice. Nice, nice. And our last option is the one that Jess is going to make. So, oh, that's nice, because then we've got, then we can actually get to see all of them. Again, now you see, I like grey and green. I remember having that on an early show where we had some green. Oh no, this was like months and months ago. We had some green pom-pom on a green cushion. That started my love affair with green and grey. Really, really enjoy it. So look, you've got your birds, and so you're going to get 1 meter of your birds, and you're going to get 1 meter of your grey that matches, and then you've got this for your accent green. Love it. $36.49 for that, and your thread, and that whopping zip. Thread, is this the zip that you want me to bring? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Let's talk about it.
Here we go.
Hello.
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 Oh, no, you had something you wanted to show us, didn't you? Just very, very quickly. Didn't make me giggle. Ta-da! There it is, the way around, from the first show.
Well, I made a mistake. And there's the back. So you can see, there's the flap, and they all nest.
Beautiful.
And then like that. And then you just put that down and finish how you want.
So if you're watching the first show, that's how it, it should look. Right, yes, so, this was your design for Simply Sewing magazine.
Simply Sewing, which I think the one which, post-Christmas when we're all supposed to be doing lots of exercise and losing all the, what we call it in our house, the window of Christmas, which is when you stuff your face for 2 weeks.
Yeah. 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
A month.
Stuff your face. So, and then of course everyone, in theory, joins the gym and becomes gym bunnies and gets ready for spring and sheds all that weight. That's what happens in TV land, not necessarily this TV land, but
elsewhere,
out there.
let me tell you.
So,
Elsewhere.
and this was a sort of a gym set which was designed for the issue which came out in January.
So that was the inspiration behind it.
Yes, the inspiration.
But quite frankly, it's just a jolly lovely big bag.
Thank you. So the idea, I designed it in this particular shape because the print, which it's Rebecca Reed who commissioned. Well, it's actually her boss who does it, but it's Rebecca Reed as technical editor commissions me to do this particular job for Simply Sewing, and this was the fabric that she really wanted me to use for the idea of a yoga bag. And I just looked at this fabric and it reminded me of, I could be wrong, but in my sort of thoughts, it reminds me of sort of 1950s Lucian Day sort of look. So I did a case which was a 1950s shape.
Right.
So which is why I chose this particular shape.
Hang on.
There it is. And I love that shape. It's nice and it's big and you can put loads of stuff in it. If you want to put your gym kit in it, if you want to take you shopping, a weekend bag, it's big enough for a weekend bag.
Yeah.
And then the actual idea was that one side you'd actually have these straps with D-rings, and you could pop your yoga mat in. So there's a picky of said yoga mat. There you go. Or anything else. So
that's one option. You don't have to do the D-rings.
You don't have to.
If you don't want to.
So you could do the D-rings, or you don't have to do the D-rings. What you could also do, if you didn't want to do the D-rings, because you're thinking, I'm not sure about that, is you could. The reverse of the bag is actually just take it off your shoulder, if you wouldn't mind. So the reverse of the bag is, as you can see, this is sewn on. These are actually sewn on.
So you just do both sides like that?
Yeah, both sides like that. What you could do, we were talking about it earlier, is you could just stitch up to, say, here, leave this bit open, and then it's attached here, and then you could shove magazines or something in there.
I thought that was a great idea.
Because I'm a magazine aholic. I love mags. I'm constantly having to clear those out come recycling day, and I have the sort of the chat of, no, I can't get rid of it just yet. And the idea of having something you can slot your mag in when you go somewhere, as opposed to shoving it in with everything else, I thought was a really appealing idea.
What's the first thing we do, Jess?
So the first thing you do is you can see on the instructions you have your template.
Yes.
Which is cut. You cut it out.
Right.
It's actually scaled to size, and then you glue it, stick it together.
Because often with something of this magnitude, the size,
so irritating.
you have to size up and take it somewhere.
Yeah, go to the library, or beg someone who's got a decent photocopy.
Sellotape it, job done.
So here we have mine, which I use my lovely washi tape, as I say with John. So we have that there. It's got all the markings on. So you've got, and just in case when you tape things, this is just a tip for me, and if things are slightly out because you haven't got it particularly right, just make sure they line up. So just transfer your marks. You then choose which your fabric you're going to do. Of course, we're going to do the birds.
The birds.
For this particular project, I used the H640.
Yes, now that's our fusible fleece. Yesterday we had it on the show. You went crazy for it. It's one of those ones that our designers ask for, so we now keep stock. This is one of our core stocks. We try and keep it in all the time. You get a metre of this, a metre piece. This side you can see little tiddly tiny bubbles. It looks like goosebumps when you're cold.
Yep.
It's the best way I can describe it. And that is the actual glue dots on there. So you would put your fabric over the top, and with a warm iron, you would then, those glue dots will melt into your fabric, and it fuses beautifully.
Is brilliant. And this, I had a metre piece, and this is what was left over.
Oh, okay.
As long as you don't sort of, for the way you actually do it is you have your template. This is what I do to save, because I'm a thrift person. I love thrift. So you spread out your metre piece, and then I tend to cut things out individually. I don't iron the entire fabric and then cut out, because I don't want to waste my fabric and things. So I'll think, okay, well that's there. I'll give it an extra inch or a couple of centimetres or something just on the outside, just in case it shrinks. It makes it a little bit. Then I cut out the piece I actually need as a square, and then I iron that onto the fabric. Oh, what's this one?
Anne in Cheshire, don't send him messages like that. She said, producer Paul, keep an eye on Tash. She's not let go of Jess's bag yet. Frisk her on the way out. How rude.
Well, it's so bright. Mind you, maybe it's one of those things where it is so bright you don't actually notice it.
And HR's in today, so producer Paul says he's not frisking me.
Yes, there's a limit these days. He's
not risking a frisk.
This is not the 80s, you know. Can't get away with that. Anyway, so you have, I'm trying to think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 pieces are for your actual bag. You have your template for your front and your back.
Are they the same?
They are exactly the same.
Oh, perfect. Good.
You transfer your marks onto your fabric. I'll show you that in a sec. So here we have one I've done earlier, with the birds, the lovely birds. I've ironed this a couple of times and you can still see I've got my marks. So you've got your strap marks where they actually place top and bottom.
So transfer those off, okay.
Centre points and your zip points. This is the zip point if you turn around again. This is where this bit will line up. Nice. Then you have your, in fact, while you're there, you've got 2 gusset strips, sort of wider ones, which go and join at the bottom. And then you've got 2 zip, what do we call those? Zip strips, which go on either side of the zip. So your zip is actually wider, longer rather, not wider, longer than you actually need for your
project.
For your project. So you cut it down. I always, and I would recommend this, buy a zip that's too long and cut it down, because you can also get zips by the meter.
Yeah, no, you can, yeah, absolutely.
Because I tend to have a stash of zips which are too long, because you can cut it down to whatever size you actually want, but you can't, it's pointless buying a zip and needing something longer. So if you can, they're only a couple of pence more for a longer zip anyway. And this is a really nice chunky one. I love this one. This is, to be perfectly honest, this is the first time I've actually used a zip of this kind. I use invisible zips and I use the standard dressmaking zip. So the original bag was done with a standard white dressmaking zip. So I looked at this and I thought, oh, that's interesting. With this one, with all the new zips that you usually use all the time, you tend to cut it down at the bottom. With this, you cut it down from the top.
Now, hang on. Okay, right, so bear with us here. This is quite important, isn't it? So at the end, you've got the knobbly end bit down there.
That stays.
That bit stays.
And you might get it and you might think, well, that's actually quite thick. You can see there, but, and you'll see when I show you the gusset I've already sewn, you don't see it, you don't feel it, you know.
Yeah.
But you cut it down from the top. And because I think this is a type of plastic, you actually carefully cut through it. I mean,
well, I don't know, you're from Bath, so you like to put R's in all over the place.
I do, darling. We put R's where there are no R's.
Plastic from Bath.
Plastic from Bath and garage.
Okay.
Right, okay. So when you actually want to cut down your zip, you think you have your gusset pieces, which are, where are we? Zip strips, 8 by 66, so 66 length. So I've already...
Show us, Jess,
I've already sewn it,
okay.
But I can show you here. So here we have the sewn strip. Bit wonky, so excuse the wonk. But you can see that is actually longer.
Right.
You want to have it a little bit longer anyway, because you want it to be over the edge, should we say. But you think, okay, and you don't want to have to sew through this. I was quite close to sewing through that when I prepped it yesterday. You can just see there's a little knobby bit there.
Yeah.
If I was doing this for a child, they'd spend the entire time going, oh, what's this mystery object? What is that? Anyway, so you think, okay, it's going to be about there. And I'm going to be over by about there. So you take your pen, your marker pen, or because you're not going to see it, you could use anything, I suppose. You think, okay, I'm going to have that there. I'm going to smooth that out along that line, and I want to cut it to about there. So you mark a line directly across. Oh, I shouldn't do this, should I? It'll come out directly across like that, across like that. And then do not go snip like this.
Move
the zip. Because when you move it, you can't necessarily see where the lines are, but because you've actually drawn the lines, then you can cut that bit off.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So that's how you do that.
So when we've done that, now, you've gone ahead and sewn
I've done this because I know, with a lot of these things, I was thinking about it when I did the Mosaic Magic prep as well. I was thinking you get to a certain point and that's the bit you really want to see, you never really get to see it. So I've done this one.
If you want to see a zip,
yes.
On Tuesday, this Tuesday just gone, Bex Reed did a zip in a bag. So it'll show you how to do a zip in a bag.
Yes.
She did that at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. So if you want to watch that back, YouTube it. But you do have full instructions.
Full instructions
here,
in
so
here.
Don't worry.
And also you have your visual, so you can see how you actually do it. And that is my, oh, it looks like a scarf, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Does it like a scarf? So as you can see, this is really long. I've also, this is actually, this particular part of the gusset, which joins underneath at the centre point, is longer than you actually need. So you've got wiggle room. And you trim that bit off at the end, but we'll show you that bit.
So you cut out your front and your back. This is those 2 gusset pieces, and then where it finishes at the zip there, that piece that Jess has just shown us goes round under to there, joins in the centre. That's the centre point there. So then you've got the other piece that comes up the other side, and then attaches onto the zip. And that is the piece that we have
here.
Grab the other end. There.
Ta-da! So there you go. You may be wondering, hang on, when do you do the lining? The lining you put in at the end and you hand sew that. And because you're sewing through so many layers of stuff, you're not going to catch anything on the other side. You're not going to see it. It's really quite simple.
So this is just your interface. This is just your fused front. You've got your front, and then you've got your H640, and it's so soft, isn't it? It's lovely.
It is, isn't it?
And so that's what you work with. So every piece that you work with, you fuse first.
Yes, fuse first. So you've done your lovely one here, and you think, okay, that's nice. I'll put that to one side, because you need to, with this one, the straps are actually sewn onto the bag front and back first before you then assemble it. Okay.
Show us.
So it tells you in the instructions the length to actually cut your strap. This is cut 2, because we're actually using meter pieces. Because the straps tend to be quite long, these actually work out about 150, which is really long. So what I do, the way I designed the bag, I was thinking most people buy some in meterage or that sort of thing, is I actually sewed 2 strips of, for each side, is 2 strips of 12 times 75, which are then sewn together at 2 of the short ends to make a really long strap.
Okay.
And you don't see it, so you can just see there, on that one, you can just, so you can't even see it, there you are. Hang on, where's the camera? That's where it joins there. If you wanted to, you could make a little design feature and put a little something on there if you wanted to. Anyway, so you decide at this point, am I going to do just the straps that I have here, or am I going to do one with D-rings? If you're doing D-rings, it tells you the length to actually cut your particular straps to and how to make them slightly different. To actually make your straps, you use your our lovely medium weight interface we use on everything, which is great. This is a 12 wide piece of fabric with the interface ironed on.
It's a very sturdy bag, this. So you've got your H640 for the main body, and then on your straps you've got that medium weight interfacing as well, which is on the website. You can grab that from there if you don't already have some at home. And then it's a bit like binding, isn't it?
Yeah. So once that's on, you then fold it in half, wrong sides together with a crease. Press that with a hot iron. Open it up again.
Oh, producer Paul's just bringing up the interfacing.
Do you want me to do?
That's right,
okay,
no,
fine.
sorry.
And then fold these 2 into the middle. You don't want them to meet right at the middle, because you've got you need a little bit of a gap, because otherwise it's going to be bunched up. Press the 2 edges in and fold it like that. Give it a really good sort of hot iron press.
Yeah.
And you're going to have a long strip, depending on what you actually go for. And then you top stitch down. Always top stitch where the actual fold is first. And then that bit.
Why? Why,
Because
Jess?
if you actually, why, Tash? Why? If you actually top stitch on this point, you may find when you get to this, it's a little bit, might be slightly out. Yeah.
Okay.
So you do that bit first, and then you go out that way. Because this is actually quite wide. If you have a walking foot, use it. Otherwise, go slow, and whatever you actually do, make sure your stitch length is a long one, and don't use an 11-point needle, use like a 14 or something, because it's actually quite thick now.
There's a lot going on there, isn't there?
I mean, I think we also sell strapping as well, with canvas strapping for bags.
The webbing, yes.
The webbing, yes.
Yes.
So if the idea of this makes you go, and you want to keep this for your stash, because it is, I love this, what is this colour? What do we call this?
Oh, it's probably
chartreuse.
yeah.
Chartreuse, and it looks really nice on the back. So you then make your long straps. Ochre.
It's actually, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, apparently.
Ochre. I thought it was black. Anyway, it looks nice on there. Look, that actually works really well with that fabric. Look at that, lovely.
Now,
so, go on.
it doesn't. They look like proper straps, don't they? Don't like that. That they're made ones. And for me, the colour, because it picks out the floral, and with the Tim Holtz one, then you've got that accent of the red, because there's a little bit of red in the fabric, and then you accent it with the straps. So for me, I love this intense hit of colour that we've got in contrast. Really, really fabulous. So
once you've actually got your strap lengths, however you decided to do, you need to attach them to both parts of your bag. So we're doing ones like this. I've already prepped one, and I'll do the other one.
Prep one, show one.
So this is the one that's been prepped. So you've already top stitched down here. For that particular bag, the Rebecca Reed bag, it comes with an orange thread, so you don't see the thread.
On the heather.
This has got the contrast grey. If you wanted to, you could actually go for the same sort of ochre colour if you've got it. Whatever you actually want. You might actually decide to use a neon or a top stitch thread. Your choice. So there is enough thread to actually do that. So that is, as you can see, you've just sewed it, stay stitched at the bottom just to hold it in place. And then run up one side, about 2 or 3 times across the top, because this is actually going to get some weight.
It's going to get a bit of usage, isn't it?
If you're doing a bag, don't just do one, because otherwise you might rip it.
Yeah.
And then down the other side. With the actual yoga bag, if you're going to do that, you would have, I've just done a little bit here, you would have a shorter strap at the bottom, which is about 24, which has got 24 centimetres in length. You've got the end bit here has been folded over by 1 centimetre at this point, pressed in, and then in, and then in better than I've done on TV just now, just saying.
But you'd press it with an iron.
But you press it with an iron, make it all nice and straight and smooth, and then you sew that so you've actually got a closed end like that, as we have here. Mm-hmm. So that would actually go on there. Your other strap would have the same sort of end you've already sewn here, and at this point you would attach your D-ring, 2 D-rings.
Okay.
Like this. I love D-rings, I use them on everything. Sad, isn't it? I love this stuff. I love it,
But
Tash.
that's the thing, is it? That's why
It's
we
hardware.
have,
Because the thing about these projects, and they're great, I love them, I love doing projects, but when you've actually got things like this in your stash, you might think, oh, I might make something like that, I've just got an idea.
You've got them, and you can then use them.
I've got one here.
Oh, have you got them there?
I've got one there that was sent to me.
So we've apparently got 3 different options for you. Let me just show you the silver ones very quickly. These are your 30mm ones.
Which
and
is
that's
actually
$2.99.
And this is actually now a 3 centimetre across, so that actually fits anything which is 3 centimetres, which is standard sort of webbing is that.
Perfect.
So this would actually be sewn in like there. I mean, you can see on the actual pattern, you'll see when you get it, you sew it in, and then you actually, when you attach it, you put whatever you actually got in, it goes through like that.
Oh, nice design, very nice.
And then you can pull it like this.
Perfect.
Pull it through, da-da-da, like that. So that's how you'd actually do it if you wanted to do a yoga strap. As I said,
but that might be if you're going away for a weekend, you might want to put a sleeping bag through there.
Yes,
or
if you're going
whatever.
camping, we're coming up to for those who've got children who do festival season, or maybe you do festival season, I don't know. Then something like this in a interesting print. I love this print. Or of course that one, which is very retro in feel. It's got a really nice sort of 1970s feel to it. Or
Let's attach some straps,
so attach some straps.
Yes.
So what we're going to do, and what I also said earlier, was if you wanted to, you could just sort of stitch a bit here and stitch a bit here and have this open, and you could actually have that flat and then just slide things in, which would be great for magazines, for example. Or, of course, instructions. See?
It's going to fit.
It would fit. So I'm just going to attach the straps. So for that one's done there. Put that over there. We'll put this one on. So make sure that you don't twist it. So, you know, when you test it. So you just put this on here, and I'm just going to make sure that's actually, the bottom edge is straight to there, and I'm just going to stay stitch the first one on. So because I've got my 2 lines, I know where it's going to line up. Put that on there, stay stitch, make sure your stitch length is a 3. This should hopefully still be a 3. I'm hoping it still is. Has been moved, so you never know.
Oh, now, apparently the snap tool that we showed you first off, you do need to check out, was $18.99 for 10 snaps plus full instructions. So graphics, there you go, down the bottom, all the details for that down the bottom there. So when you've got fabric left over from one of these, then you've got your fabric there that you can make a matching little purse, which is great. So that's why we pop those on the show for you, so you've got that extra option. So we do a little stay stitch, so that's going to keep us in place there.
Yep. And then this is how you make sure that you're not actually twisting.
Do you stay stitch both ends
yes.
then? Oh,
stay stitch both ends. Because then you think, okay, that's fine, like this.
Yes.
So then I'll stay stitch this one on there. Now, Tash, remember you showed me yesterday with this machine, because this is not my machine, how to actually move the needle.
Yes.
Because I moved it out there, and with the manual, which is sitting out there, but I don't have the manual in front of me, and it's moved back again.
Okay.
So I need it to be a 2.6, if you would be so kind.
2.6.
So to actually move the needle, because this is actually done with a centimetre seam allowance, and I think the 2.6 or 2.4 is a centimetre.
So have you got the seam allowance? Do you want to pop it under there? So basically you just move the needle across.
Ooh, so let me just have a little look. So I'm just going to mark.
If you have a machine, I mean, this is, we don't always use our all singing, all dancing, most expensive models. This is our 540, and it's got lots of great stitches on there. But if you want to move the needle across, then just go for a straight stitch, and then just move the stitch width as if it were a zigzag, and that will move it across. So I've moved that down. I don't know how far across you want it. I think it was on a 1.5 yesterday, but just double check it.
That actually looks fine. Brilliant. Okay, so you've now got this stay stitched in.
Yes.
And then you line up your strap with this particular strap mark.
Pin it or clip it or anything?
I pin it.
Okay.
I pin it because I'll just do it like this and think that looks right. But at this point, because your actual strap is on the bag, you can see the actual, oh, it's gone a bit funny. The actual straps aren't sewn into this particular gusset. You have a 3 centimetre, well, that's not 2 because it's got the sewn in with the seam allowance. You sort of that sort of gap there, so it doesn't go in. So you mark with your lovely ruler and your erasable pen 3 centimetres down from the edge at the top.
Okay.
So just find 3 centimetres, 1, 2, 3, and using your erasable pen, just draw a line, and that's the point you actually stitch to. Remember, as with all these things, check that your pen will actually erase, because there's nothing worse if you come to it and it doesn't.
We love this pen because all the fabrics we've tested it on, it's always come off.
Yeah.
Even when Joe Carter brought us the big-eared bunny on a cream-coloured face, it still vanished. It still goes with just a little bit of water or just a sponge. Just sponge it off, and you're going to be absolutely fine. So I think it's about £3 or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's £3.99.
I have loads of these.
And it's a brilliant one.
What I would say, top tip with this one.
That's the vanishing one.
It's vanishing one. The top tip with this one is don't push too hard with it, because you'll push the nib in,
the fibre
and
bit
then you'll be gutted because you've just wasted a pen. Never done that before. All right, what you actually see I've actually done is I've laid this down smooth, and I've drawn a line across where those particular bits go, because that's the bit where you therefore know that's going to be a smoothing when you've done. Because when you sew your foam for so many layers, sometimes it can move. So yeah, walking foot if you've got it. Otherwise, go slow, make sure you pin, and you'll be fine. Also, I would say when you're sewing in the zip, the same thing. If you haven't got a walking foot because you're sewing for various layers, just use loads of pins, and use loads of pins where you've got your zip strip here. Pin it in like that, all the way along, every inch or so, so you know that that's not going to twist, okay? Otherwise, I've done it so many times where you put it in, you just run it through, and it will go, and you'll be really sad at yourself.
So more pins.
And more pins. Right, okay, so I'm just going to go from there, across, and down.
Jess, are you going to go over that stitch line?
I am. Hopefully
that's
I will.
Where we're aiming for,
We're aiming for that. If you don't, it's a home sewn bag. If you do, brilliant. If at this point you might think to yourself, maybe I'll actually change the thread colour when I actually do the strap, because I do want it to be completely invisible.
Okay.
Up to you. So that's now set to a 3, and put the margin there.
Now we've got 3 different kits. So the one that Jess has been using, you've just held up on the screen. This is the Heather Bailey one. I love this one. The colours are just exquisite. There's no getting this confused with anybody else's bag, is it? It's yours. And what I really enjoy, oh, check out your basket for this, running low on this one. And then, of course, you've got that beautiful turquoise in the middle. Then, of course, the other one is your Tim Holtz. Now, that's actually the most popular one this hour, the Tim Holtz.
I love that print.
So, but it is the most limited as well, stock-wise. So please do check out your basket on that. So that's $37.99 LXGC66. So we've only got 3 different bag options for you today. And then, of course, we've also got our grey birds that we're working on. And then, yeah, if you want to add in, of course, your Snap It kits as well, then you'll be able to add in the personal touch with a matching purse.
Ooh.
So just
I've gone
15 minutes left.
That's all right. We'll go as fast as we can. So I want to show you how to do the gussety bit.
So you're going backwards and forth over that top part to just reinforce, because that's the bit that's going to take a bit of a battering, isn't it, as you overfill your bag, let's be honest.
Put loads of stuff in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a real sizable bag. You're going to be able to fit a lot of stuff in here. And of course you're going to have that beautiful thing that you open it up and it's got that lovely contrast lining. If you've gone for the Heather Bailey, so there you go, there's Jess going down, back over that stitching, so that's also reinforcing all of your stitching so that you can fill this with everything that you love. And when you open it up, of course, you'll have that gorgeous splash of colour, especially if you're going for the Heather Bailey.
I love that. I was thinking when my children were youngest and I had the sort of standard bag where you carry everything around in your entire life. The mum bag. Never the dad bag.
No.
Maybe. Usually the mum bag. So mine was actually red and black. It was very, yes. So I didn't go for any of the sort of like, you know, florally stuff. Now I'd be all over the florals. But
isn't it funny how tastes change?
It is, isn't it? So I just thinking the amount of stuff I used to carry around, this is actually the perfect size to put all those bits that you need, or the things that you don't need that you think you need, and then you realise you don't actually need them anymore. You know, that sort of stuff.
Because I always go out with a big bag. My husband always say, "Oh, could you just?"
Yeah, could you just put Could
you just put this in? Could you just put that in? It's like, hang on a minute.
Are you going to carry
a bag for all of yours? Customer anonymous says, "Morning, ladies.
Morning.
Fab show as always. Does the bag kit have the fusible fleece included, or do I need to get it separately?" We didn't put it in because a lot of you bought the fusible fleece yesterday, so you might have already had some, or you might have a preferred.
You might prefer to use wooding.
Yeah, it's entirely up to you. So we don't want to add that cost in if you've already got it at home. But if you haven't, it's £9.99 for a metre, and I'll show you how much Jess had left over from that. She had all of that left over, you see. So I mean, if you'd had, you know, something like this left over from a project, then
you can make loads of stuff with that.
Absolutely. You might want to then use your leftover bits when you're making your purses with your snap-it kits. But this is what's left over from, and Jess has interfaced all of her bag, even the sort of gusset that goes all the way around it. That's all in as well. I'll put that together like that. You can get an idea of what that actually does.
It's going to be a really long, 66 by 40 something, so it's actually proper long.
So we're now doing the front and the back to then encase in that. I say we. Jess is sewing away quite happily there.
We're doing it together, Tash. Like you helped me yesterday with my lovely kitsch apron, which is sort of to my left, to my right.
12 minutes, Jess.
Fine. Cool. Well,
I didn't help you this morning, did I, with the old Quilt As You Go?
That's fine. I fixed it in my break. It just goes to show it doesn't take long to fix it. It really doesn't.
We all make those mistakes.
Yeah, we all do it.
Doesn't it when you're chatting to me? Right, so I like this reinforcing stitch business on the handles. Makes it feel nice and secure.
It does. Like, especially as you're going to be over your shoulder full of heavy stuff like Lego, snacks, nappies, school books.
Oh, we've started on the Lego.
I love Lego.
It's when you stand on it, doesn't it?
Oh, it's a nightmare standing. I have my own Lego. I actually succumbed and I asked for girl Lego. I have girl Lego. Girl Lego, I know, part of me goes, that's so wrong. But girl part thinks, I don't care, I want pugs and kittens. Right, okay.
I'm just going to show the instructions again.
That's fine.
So here are your instructions, step by step. So different ways to put your strapping on. That's a nice feature. It's entirely up to you. Then we show the gusset and the zip, the handles. So we've done all of that bit now. And now we move on.
So now you move on. This is the bit where you've actually got this bit.
So front and back done.
Yes. And then you attach this bit. Now you might be thinking, oh, I don't know how to do this. So I'll show you. What you actually do is you have your make sure you've got your centre points marked. So I'll just quickly, I've marked it on here, but I haven't.
That's why you marked your
Mark every centre point you've actually got, because you'll never regret it. And if you don't use it, and if you do use it and you haven't got it marked, you'll think, oh no. So let's just, this is the wrong way around, so let's just go like this way and just measure. It should be around about 64-ish.
64-ish, exactly.
64-ish. So what's half of 64,
32.
Tash? Well done. So 32. So that is your centre point. So what you actually do to attach this particular one is you take your bag piece, whichever piece you're going to work with. Bearing in mind, this bag isn't directional. It's going because it's the same front and back. So if you did actually have one where you had the yoga straps, think where you want your zip.
Okay.
So my zip, I always have my zip at the front. Years of living in London, always have my zip at the front. So I think that's going to be there. Therefore, this is going to be the front of the bag, and therefore this zip needs to be in the right place at the front of the bag.
I've never put so much thought into a zip in my life.
I have to, because if you have a bag and it's the wrong way around and you think, oh no, someone's going to grab my purse. Anyway, very trusting me. So what you actually have...
Well, I'd want it if you've made the nice snap-on purses, wouldn't it? It'll be a, yeah.
So you just make sure the straps are out of the way, like this, just push them down with your hand. Take your pins, you use a lot of pins. Find your mark center point here and pin that to your mark center point there. And just pin that in place. And then the way I do this is I do one strap all the way around.
Yep.
And then I do the other strap all the way around.
Okay.
So this particular point here, the sewn seam bit here, needs to line up with that. It should do, because I've tested it. Hopefully it'll be fine. So find the scissors, which I've now put down somewhere, lost, there we go. And you pin your particular fabric until you get to a curve. Just move that out of the way so you can see. And then to go around a curve, I always snip into not the actual curve bit, but this particular piece. Same thing when you're actually putting a bag bottom on. You know, a tub. What do you call them? Bucket. A bucket, sort of storage bucket. Because there's enough of that food for you to actually make a storage bucket. So,
quick question from Carol in Dorset.
Go on.
Could you iron on a strip of double-sided interfacing onto the straps to prevent movement before sewing?
Yes, you could.
There you go.
You could do.
It's from the designer herself.
You can do whatever you like.
Okay.
So as you can see, we've now reached a bit where the curve is. So I snip. This is a centimetre seam allowance. So I snip a little bit in.
Okay. Not the full centimetre.
No. And I tend to snip sort of from here to about there because this bit is now straight here. But you know they've got this curve to get it round. So I will just do a little snip all the way around every centimetre or so going down this side. This is really exciting telly, isn't it?
It's one of those things that when you see why it's done, you realise why it's good to take the time to do it.
I'm just going to change that pin because it's slightly wonky. I don't like a wonky pin. Right. So as you can see, that is now going to go like that. Splay? What's the word?
Splays out.
Splays out. So you know that this particular point needs to line up there. So I'm just going to put that on there on those points and match them up and pin that in place.
Okay.
Like that. Not stabbing through your finger.
No, try not to.
I'd never do that.
No.
Okay. So if you find this isn't actually the right length, you can always, because you're doing one side at a time, if you've actually made it slightly longer and you think, oh, you just move the actual seam down a bit, just make the mark a little bit lower and make sure it matches on the other side, and then you'll be perfect. Because you've marked the centre point of it, so you know where it is. So I'm just going to splay this around. If you've got smaller pins, use them. Dressmaking pins are really handy for things like this. Because I'm me and I wasn't paying attention, I went for the pretty bright yellow, where are the daffodils, quilting pins. But it's all fine.
Now, whilst you pin there, let me just reiterate the 3 different kits that we've got so that you know which choice is. So what we've got is this grey one. This is the one that we're working with at the moment. So you've got the grey and then that lovely ochre. 2.5 metres of fabric there, and you get your zip, your thread, your full instructions, and then if you want to add your own interfacing, then you will do so. That's $36.49. That zip's a whopper, isn't it? Now, the next one is your Tim Holtz one. That's the other one that we had that Jess made for us. And I love this one because you get that red accent for the strap. There it is looking good. And that fabric is just wonderful. And this is what you'll achieve for $37.99. LXGC 66. Look at that. Fabulous fabric. And a really big, roomy bag. This could easily be a weekend bag. Or if you want it as a day-to-day bag where it's got everything in it, you're good to go. Now, the last one that we've got for you is this one here, is the Heather Bailey one. I love these colourways. It's just fab. And if I unzip this, again, $37.99, you get your zip, your thread, everything you need, full instructions. But if I just open it up, what I really love about this is that pop of colour as you open it up.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Just brilliant. And of course, 1p&p, so, you know, pop anything else in that you want. Maybe you want to go for the snaps that we've got, then pop those in as well. And then you could have a matching purse to go with that. We've had an email through.
Go on.
This is from Patricia. Hello, Patricia.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the Botanica range. I love that.
Grey and chartreuse.
Yeah, same as you love the ochre. Have just started to make a Paris point quilt with this colour and the grey. Have 7 Paris points, so hopefully we'll make a large 7?
7.
That's huge.
A lot.
Oh, yeah, because these are the, well, of course, this is the Quilt As You Go, so it's just modular, just add them all on. So hopefully we'll make a large quilt. Well, I think you will if you've got 7 of them. Thank you for giving me the confidence to do it. Patricia, what an absolute pleasure. What a lovely message. Thank you so much. We've got 5 minutes.
That's fine. In that case, I will show you. Never always run out of time, don't we? So, as you can see, that now lines up with your marked point, and you've got it splayed out like this.
So it's looking like the O2 Arena. Or the Millennium.
Oh, it is a bit, isn't it? Yes, it is a bit. You'll see at the bottom of the actual pattern, you have a slight curve. So I've just done a little couple of snips just to get it around there. If you didn't want the slight curve, you could just go to there and then just cut across.
Entirely up to you.
And then I pin it to, let's just move that like this, down to about there. As you can see, that's the centre point and that's your overlap bit. Okay.
When do you sew that base bit then?
There's a picture in here, there. So what you actually do is we'll talk about it and then we'll see if we can sew it because it might run out of time. Is you sew one side all the way, leaving.
Hang on, let me just show this.
Sorry.
Let me just shoot that one. So that's the picture. That is you'll have your 2 base points there. Okay, so when I've got to that point, Jess, over to you.
So what you actually do is you sew to leave yourself about 6 centimetres or so from the end. The reason you do that is therefore when you've done the other side, you've got this flappy bit and you can just put them together, see where they actual line up, and then make your mark on one side, make your mark on the other, mark it across, and then sew it together. So you've actually got it. So the other side, once you've done this one and you're happy with it, you then repeat for the other way and sew it and snip around the corners and pin it all the way around. What I found is because I know that this is actually, when I know this is exactly the right length, this will be identical because it's exactly the same identical length. So what I tend to do is I know exactly how much I've got left over before I reach the centre point, should we say. So I actually sew from this point because I know it's going to fit because it fits on this side.
Yes.
So once you've actually got it like that, and it's all, oh, how lovely, I managed to do one side. This is all sewn up, because it's far along.
Don't know.
No, we'll ignore it until we're told to leave the building. So you've actually got this, and you can see this is actually like that. And then you sew that one on there, the same method.
The same way.
Remembering when you sew this to unzip your zip first.
So you can get into it.
So you get into it.
It's going to help.
You get into it. And once you've done that, you then make your lining and attach your lining. You hand sew your lining in. So there's no bagging out or turning gap or anything like that. You actually end up turning your bag. In fact, can we grab the Tim Holtz because it's a bit lighter fabric, you'll be able to see it a bit.
I can do that for you, Jess.
You turn your bag right sides out. Hang on, let's have a look. I love this bag. I love this colour. What do we call this colour? Cappuccino?
Something like that,
Something
or
like
a latte.
Latte or milk au lait, or I don't know, something French. So at this point, I know yesterday Victoria did one and she had a pocket inside as well. If you wanted to, you could attach pockets to your lining because, most bags always have pockets in lining for your phone or your keys or all the random bits of stuff that your children make you carry around for no reason whatsoever. Anyway, so you actually turn your bag inside out so you can see your lining like this, and then you put your lining
over there, so you encase it in.
And then, because your lining is exactly the same size because it matches, when you actually make your lining, because this is a wide zip, I'll just show you, close the zip slightly so you can see. Because this is you can still see my actual marks there when I was putting it together. Because this is a wide zip, I know that's why I'm doing this now. Because you've got a wide zip, I just make sure it had a little bit of a gap.
Yeah.
So whereas with the ordinary zip, you didn't really need it. With this one, a little bit of a grab when I sew it all together. But all the instructions for doing the lining are in here. And then you actually just slip stitch this in. And because you're going through so many layers, you can easily sew through with this lovely thread through the zip and through to the other side. And you're not going to see it because the actual ends where it meets the zip, the seam, is hidden. So you're actually sewing through fabric which is sewn in, so it's absolutely fine. So that's how you do that bit. So I shall carry on doing that. I thought 2 minutes, I better get it.
Wait, yeah, well, you do. You carry on. This, I'm going to go back and show everybody.
And I'm going to sew something in for you.
Okay, fabulous. Jess, thank you.
That's okay.
Thank you so much. Another hour just
goes so quick,
like
but I hope you liked it. There you go.
Fab.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Now, very, very quickly, before we get into the bags, let's have a look at the snaps. So I just think this is a lovely thing to have in your stash, because actually, how often do you have some fabric left over when you've made a bag or had a project and it's a fabric that you really love? And how nice to be able to then have a little coin purse or a clutch or anything like that. Then you'll be able to do that. Now with Jo Carter's fabulous instructions with this, she shows you how to do the templates, how to do all of those, and you've got those there, and you are good to go. So let me show you the different sizes that we get. You've got 2 of each, so you've got a complete array. These are kind of your clutch size. Clutch bag size. And then again, if you want to, on our website you can get chains, so if you want to do a chain handle, then you've got those as well as an option. So that's $18.99 for 10 of these. And you've got your rectangle sizes, you've got your gentle curves as well, and you've got these in different sizes as well. So you have 3 different sizes for your rectangle ones, but then you get the chance to become the designer. Watch back the shows that we've had on these, and full instructions in here for you. So Jo goes into great detail as to how to use the clasp itself, to then create the pattern, and then you can decide how deep you want to have it, whether you're going to, I mean, I've got a really big deep one that I keep a lot of needles and things in, that my grandmother had, and so that's really nice and deep, but sometimes you might want a shallower one. It's entirely up to you. We did ones with bows on. We've done these quite a few times, but they're always incredibly popular, and 1/3 of the stock has gone on these this morning already, so please do check out your baskets for these. We've got a lot of you multi-buying. These make great gifts. If you've got bits of fabric left over that you absolutely love, why not make a gift out of these? You know, maybe you're giving a pair of earrings or something for a birthday. Maybe you bought some tulip pink and you want some excuses to get that tulip pink out. You can still get tulip pink by the ½ meter, by the way, on the website, if you missed that on Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, yes, we've done this. We did this a couple of weekends ago, didn't we? Where we had the Panda Pop quilt, and then we did the animals on this. So you can do it for all age ranges as well, which is really special. So really love this. The scope is just your imagination, your fabric choice, entirely up to you. But you are getting these snaps work out at, and this is incredible value. Say we gave you those instructions for free. Let's just say that they didn't cost a penny, and they do. They cost us to produce because they're all nice and colourful and what have you. But that means that still we're looking at under £1.90 per snap. So whichever way round you look at it, stand it on its head, whichever way round you look at it, fabulous value. Brilliant value for these. Love it. Now, we've also got some PU leathers for you as well. It's PU leather, so we call it pleather. It's a fake leather, which is over here. Now these are lovely as well, and again, if you've had a pattern like some of these and you love it and you want to make it in different, it would look like a bowling bag, this actually, wouldn't it, if you did this in your pleather. So which one have we got up on the screen? The duck egg, oh, the one I'm handing. So this is by the ½ meter, $6.25. So if you've got some of our designs and you want to make it in that PU leather, this is incredibly soft, by the way. Some of our dressmaking guests have said actually you could make a jacket out of that or skirts. It's lovely. So don't just think of it for your bag making, although it's also perfect for that. Now we've also got it in a lovely grey as well. This is a nice warm grey, and it goes with the duck egg. It goes with the pink as well, which I'll show you in a moment as well. So we'll get you all those details. But this is £6.25 per half a metre. It's just really handy to have in your stash. And this is your grey one, it's £6.25, and again, super, super soft. You can even see, can you see the grain in there? That's the attention to detail. It's a great high quality one, super soft, really easy to use. You don't need special leather needles or anything on this, just your normal needle. Make sure it's sharp and you're good to go. You see, I like the contrast of that grey and that pink together. In fact, all those three colours together I think look beautiful. Yeah, the pink with the grey is lovely, isn't it? But actually, so £6.25 again for the pink. It's a nice dusky pink. It's a dusky rose pink, that one. Very nice. So it's not a baby pink. It's just a nice soft dusky pink. Now beige we're limited in, and you see I think that calling that a beige underdoes it, because I really like that shade. It's a fabulous neutral. I would have called that tan, but it's £6.25, CTJQ 42, and that is going to work an absolute treat. And then we've got that classic navy, which looks fab. So maybe you want to make Jess's bag again once you've made it out of one of these fabrics, and then you could maybe want to do it in the pleather. I was just saying, Jess, it would look like a bowling bag. Oh, cool. £6.25, RDJQ 65, and again £6.25 per half a metre. If you're new to us and you've never bought metre, buy the half metre from us. If you put 2 in the units, then you would get 2 lots of half metre, so you'd get a metre in one long strip. We wouldn't cut it in half. It's because you're buying 2 units of it, it'll be in one great continuous length. That's how we do our metre, our fabric by the meterage. Right. Now, snap to it. Snap to it. You've got to start checking those out, because those are very, very popular. Please do check out your baskets. You're getting 10 snaps there. That's 10 different purses. That could be 10 different gifts. Maybe you're thinking about Easter gifts already. What do you give people to Easter, for Easter? I mean, if you're not giving chocolate, maybe you give grandchildren a little bit of money for Easter. Pop it in a very pretty little coin purse, and you'll be good to go. $18.99, RPGC 00. And of course, Jo Carter, you can, on YouTube, you can always put in sewing quarter, snap to it, and see what comes up. But we do have the instructions on the web. Well, you'll get the instructions, and then you can watch back any of the shows. And that's fabulous. Now, you also need to start checking out on the Tim Holtz bag. Now, we had a limited amount on this, but there you go. That's your Tim Holtz bag. There you go. And you remember, you're getting even that big chunky zip. I love that detailing. The highlight of the red handle there, which just picks out that red detailing, is absolutely fab. It's all in there. Really lovely. Now, Jess has just handed me this. So you can see she's stitched all the way around, and you can see how that has just started to come together. An absolute treat by just stitching around there like that. Right, now after the break, we've got clever tools for under £15. So make sure that you've checked out whichever bag you're after, whatever snaps you're after. Remember, it's only yours when you check out, and I will see you after a very quick break.
Follow us on Instagram. Search for our Sewing Quarter page and follow us to get our latest posts.
Hi, I'm Lucy Brennan, and these are my 3 top tips. My first top tip is to experiment. It's really about playing and using all the different features of your sewing machine. So for example, when I was quilting this quilt, I used a wavy quilting stitch, which gives a really lovely texture to the quilt. So it's worth having a play about and using scraps or little quilt sandwiches to try different things. My second top tip is about combining fabric. A lot of people like getting the pre-cuts, which are fantastic. That gives you a whole range of a collection, but it doesn't mean that you just have to use those together. It can be nice to mix them in with other fabrics that you've got in your stash, or mix them in with solids and create something really unique. My third top tip is sometimes you just need to go for it. You can't always plan everything out. So you might combine fabrics, be making a block, and it not look exactly how you wanted it to. But until you sew it together, you don't always know how it looks, and there's always a way of combining things and making it look right in the end.
Love Patchwork and Quilting is the best-selling modern quilting magazine that shares your passion for fabric. We publish 13 times a year, featuring must-make projects, essential techniques, interviews, news and reviews from the world of modern quilting. Every issue also comes with a free gift. Join us on Monday the 12th of February for a magical morning with infamous toy creator Jo Carter as she shares her brilliant new toy with us, the cutest fire-breathing dragon you'll ever see. First seen in Simply Sewing magazine, Jo Carter's soft dragon toy is available in 2 colours, flame red and monster green. The kit comes with everything you need to make a duo of dragons, including soft toy filling and fleecy fabric. There's even black eyes and embroidery thread included, so you can give the cheeky creature some character. So join us on Monday the 12th of February at 10 AM for a fiesta of dragons. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78 and Sky Channel 678. Don't forget, shopping with us is easy and simple. You can just contact us at 0800 112 4433 and speak to our UK-based call centre to place an order, or shop online with us at www.sewingquarter.com.
Follow us on Twitter for more inspiration, top tips, news, and share your own creations with us.
Well, hello and welcome back. Yes, as if by magic, everything's changed. All change. Now, I've promised you clever little tools for under £20. Well, they are. They're under 15 actually as well, which is brilliant. I've got all sorts. I've got storage. I've got nifty racks. I've got rulers. I've got pokey outy bits. I've got some spray that we were talking about earlier. All sorts. So let's begin with some storage, because let's face it, half stuff needs storage. Now, this is for simplicity, and what I really love about these is that they stack beautifully. So if you're looking for a system that's going to stack, that's going to actually, you can see through everything that you're keeping in there, then this is what we have for you. So I'm going to look at the bottom one down here first. The other great thing about this is that, look, you've got really wide, thick elastic on these, which keeps it, so if you're going out on a workshop, you don't have that thing where it opens, it's gone everywhere. This is your thread storage. So you just place them in there, or your bobbins if you want. You could have it as bobbin storage if you prefer. Pop it in there, and there they will all just lie beautifully. And then you pop your lid back on, and then like that, like that, and then your elastic goes back round, and it's lovely big chunky elastic And also you can see, so you can see your colours in there. You can turn it upside down. You can see all the different colours in there. You can see from the side. It's even slightly opaque from the top, so you can see everything that's in there. Now you can see the grooves on the top here. That means that the other ones just will sit beautifully in there. Or if you're getting several of those and you want to stack them on top, then they will sit beautifully. So that's $12.99. And also just wipe them clean as well, really simple to keep clean. So let's have a look at the other sizes that I've got for you. So that's the thread one. Now this one here, you can put that in the middle there, you can put it there. I just think they look really nice. And this is your general storage container. This is large, and again, lots of things will go in there. So there you go, take your lid off. So you could put your fabrics in there, a few threads, bit of this, bit of that. You're going to be able to see everything in there. I want to put my quilting pins in there. You've got space to put, oh, maybe I want to put some of my, you've got space to put all sorts of things in there. But you can also see exactly what is in there. There we go. And then you just pop your elastic around. And it's a lovely thick elastic. And there it is. That's not, even with all that stuff in it, it's not coming undone. And then start to stack. So that's $8.99. I just think they look really smart. I do really like these. Oh, hang on, producer Paul says just pop it up on one of our shelves. Well, I'd love to, but I've just undone it. I was just taking everything out. Hang on, I'll put the other one up there. It's trouble, I've popped everything in. Right, so let me pop the lid back on there, like so. Lid on there, and then elastic goes around, like so. All secure. If you're going off to workshops and things like that, I also think with these, yes, this is fabulous for your sewing, but if you do things like cake making and things and you want to keep things nice and clean and tidy, it's another great way to do that. So Paul says, producer Paul says, oh, so, excuse me, lady. Go and have a little rest up there. Smart, isn't it? Just looks nice. You can see, oh, there you go, you can see through, you can see our threads through there. So you can see what's in there as well. Very nice. I do like these. There you go, love. Back you go. And then the little one. Just sits on top. So you could also go, it could go there. You know, they're designed to just sit on, and so they're, you know, they're not going to slip off because they've got those grooves. So let me show you this one. Handy sizes, really handy. And of course, just lift the top off like that. And pop all your bits and bobs in. Maybe it's all your different pins. In there you go. Maybe it's your tape measure. It all goes in. In it goes. You can see it, and that's the thing. Saves you hunting around everywhere. I've got wooden storage, and it's, you know, whilst it's pretty, it's not always that practical because I have to open up and rummage. Whereas here I can see exactly what I've got, and that's just $6.99. So it's just a nice little add-in. Make the most of the fact you're getting your P&P is just $2.95 for all day. So you can pop in a few of those, and you're good to go. Get yourself nice and organised. Maybe your New Year's resolution was to just tidy things up a little bit. And you go, you're good to go. Right, now, I only have a handful of these, but this was a conversation that producer Paul and I had. It was with, who was it with? Janice, wasn't it? And she said, oh, have you got one of those scissor sharpeners? We're like, what? You don't have to worry about keeping your scissors sharp because we've got a scissor sharpener for you. This is from Fiskars. We've only got a handful of these, but I just want you to see how easy they are to use. That's what it looks like. And from your finest snips, you just pop them in there and literally just open and cut, and you can hear that sharpening away right through to the tip if needs be. And I have recovered so many pairs of scissors. Then it doesn't have to be just Fiskars. I know it's made by Fiskars, but it doesn't. This is just another pair of general ones that we've got. And you can hear that sharpening. Oh, that's so satisfying. 2 of you already got that in your basket. I've only got a handful. even down to, because these are the size shears that I use at home, they fit in as well, and you can sharpen those. Yeah. So all your different size scissors, all sharpened. Keep them in tippity tip-top condition. For $12.95, it's much cheaper than buying, if you've got expensive shears. 4 of you in it, which means I've got 2 left. If anybody wants those, then please check out your basket. This is going to go this hour. It's just something that is really, really handy. I did ask Paul if we could just pop this on the show because I wanted you to see it and I wanted you to see it again. That is going to sell out PQGQ89. If you've got it in your basket, please check out. Check out as many times as you like throughout the hour. There will be a few sellouts this hour, so please just check out. Remember, check out as many times as you like. It's only 1 P&P per day. We only charge you $2.95 per day. I'm going to put that there. This is with the little cushion we're low in stock on. These ones. Which ones? Oh, this is with the cushion. Oh, this is with the cushion. Sorry, man. Okay. Producer Paul's like, yeah, I'll just keep saying this is with the cushion. Well, no, they've got a cushion handle on them, you see. That's what I was going for. This is your prim cushion with scissors. Look at the price of this. $8.99. I'm getting this out. Can I get this out? Good. Yeah. It comes all beautifully packaged, but look at this. I've never seen this before. And I really like it. And we've got in other shows, we've got some other storage in this range, which I really love. So you've got your pin cushion there. Beautiful. And then snips. Obviously, like we haven't used these, so they're... But they are attached so that you don't lose them, because, you know, I lose stuff. That's just protectively covered. Obviously, you've got, because they're sharp. They're really sharp. And then pop them in there. You've always got it. And hold it, off you go, pin cushion and scissors, because how often are you looking around for things? So maybe you got your little quilting pins. There they go, in there, off they go. And then you've got your pin cushion there, your scissors in there. Just don't put, if you've got your scissors down there, just don't put your pin into your scissors. Leave yourself a little space. So I would just sort of put my pins in down one side there. And off you go. Good to go. Well, great idea. And then you've still got your scissors. Use them, pop back in. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So it's just 1 P&P today, $8.99 is your price on this, $2.95 is your P&P. Make the most of that, fill your basket, check it out as many times as you like, and you're good to go. And like I say, that all comes beautifully packaged. What a nice gift, actually. If you've got someone whose birthday it is, that's a lovely gift. Easy to wrap to. Not that that's a thing, but it is. So not only have you got brilliant little snips, and little snips are always so handy. So you've pinned something, get your little snips out, and it's always going to be there as a oneer, as we say. So that's there for you, $8.99, FYPH62. I do like that. That's really handy. Lots of you adding that to the basket. Check it out. We don't have huge stocks of it because we've already had one sell out this morning. Please, just in this hour, and it's only, what, 10 past? So yeah. Right. Oh, the silver and gold threads. I love these. Now, when we brought, you get both of these. When we bought things like Joe Carter's Polar Bear and the Unicorn, occasionally some of the kits will have some of this beautiful thread in. Now, you are getting 25 meters of each. So 25 meters of your gold, 25 meters of your silver. Well, that looks kind of platinum-y to me. It's really beautiful. And that's $7.49 for both of those. So that's 50 meters of metallic thread. Look at that. That's really going to make a beautiful statement. Maybe you're into your Sashco. How lovely to add that little bit of glitter. That little bit of sparkle. Now this is a metallic pearl thread. What that means is that you can't break it down into its component threads. Often you have skeins and it's made up of 6 threads and you can separate them. When it's a pearl thread, it's just the one. So you wouldn't separate that out. So that is going to be a lovely statement thread. And again, you're getting 25 meters of the gold, 25 meters of the silver. But that's really beautiful because, do you remember the polar bear? And he had a snowflake onto his paw. And he had one on his heart as well. He had one on his heart and on his paw. So beautiful, just addition. Maybe you just want to highlight something. What's just sold out? Oh, the sizzle sharpener's gone. Well done. Congratulations to everyone that got those. You now have sharp scissors rather than having to buy new scissors. Bargain. So make sure that you pop this in your basket and check it out. It just adds that little bit of highlight. Do you remember we did the rainbow cushion, didn't we? We did the rainbow cushion, and it had a lovely great big cloud on it. Silver lining. It was a silver lining one. You could have added that. Had that beautiful silver in there as well. So it's one of those things, once you've got it and you've got 25 meters, you're going to be adding it into all sorts of things. Oh, Paul says you're going to have to start checking that out. Now, Prim wooden ruler stack. Here we go, stack rack. Now this is a darker wood one. So we've just basically got two different colours for you today. If you want the light wood, we'll get to that in a minute. If you're after the darker wood one, then this is the one. And this is from Prim. This is 50 centimetres. Here you go. Whoop. Now what I would say to you is, if you have any of the larger Creative Grids rulers or just generally larger rulers, this is the one to go for. We do a shorter one that we've had on other shows, but this one, if you have, because I've got, what have I got? I've got a 20.5-inch square ruler, fits in this an absolute treat. I've got my Stripology, fits in this an absolute treat. My 24.5-inch by 8.5-inch ruler fits in this a treat. This is for all your larger ones. So, I mean, it's got like the smallest ruler in the world in there, but basically it protects them. If you are investing in your in all of your different grids, your different rulers, it's vital that you store them correctly. So you don't ever want to leave them on the floor, and they're meant to be stored, you know, nice and flat so they don't bow. And so this is a great way of storing them. It's a great way of having them there to hand without having to go and rummage around down the side of your desk or anything like that. This is a great way to have them there to hand, ready to use. I mean, these are tiny, tiny ones. But you can also, you know, you could have on the front row all your little ones and tier it up. So, you know, you might have a couple of larger ones, that's great, and then just put your smaller ones. Things like your scrap crazy, where you've got 4 or 5 different components, put those on one line, keep them all together. It's entirely up to you how you use it, but it is a really, really handy thing to have. Now, this is $14.49. This has been stained. This is a darker wood one. So maybe this is going to fit into your decor better at home. It's entirely up to you. $14.49. The choice, as they say, is yours. KVPH 89. Well, I've got a message from Wendy in Lincolnshire. Hello, Wendy in Lincolnshire. She says, morning, Tash, loving the pin cushion with snips. Genius, genius. She's put it on by the sewing machine, then out with the pins and snip the threads. Perfect. See, she want to have another look at it then, Wendy. Here you go. It is, it's one of those things. If you're using pins and you're sewing, then you're always going to need your scissors, aren't you? Let's face it. And it's just a lovely design, echoing those scissors there and the actual fabric itself. And then out come your scissors. Can I take that? There you go. Oh, look how sharp those are. Oh, I can see what I had of the protective stuff on there. Ooh, I like those. They're proper, ooh, nice. They feel really nice. Lovely and sharp. And so then also, that's the other nice thing, is that it's safe as well, because those sharp points are now protected within your pin cushion. So the idea just gets better and better and better, doesn't it? You know, all sharp things protected nicely in there, especially if you're going off to workshops. Are you going to have your scissors rattling around separately, or are you going to put it in your pin cushion and then you know that you've got everything together? So it's under £15 this hour, but this is under 10. This is $8.99. Which is brilliant value, absolutely excellent. Pop it in your basket. I'm going to put the protective thing back on, just so the next person who has to take it out doesn't hurt themselves. There we go. And it's all nicely packaged for you, easy to wrap if you're gifting. Maybe you want to buy one for yourself, one for a friend. Are there multi-buyers on this, Producer Paul? Are there multi-buyers on this? Yeah, you see, I'm not surprised. Once you come up with a great idea, you do want to get one for your friend as well. So $8.99 FYPH 62. Love it. Right. Lots to choose from. Where do we want to go? Oh, can we go for the... Oh, yeah, but no, we could do thread cutter. Now, this is something that I wore this around my neck one day, and it was just really handy to have. Again, it's keeping those things that you use safe and by you all the time. Now, this has got, it's got like a little rotary cutter sort of in there, but it doesn't rotate. So it's just got like that cutting blade in there. There you go. Can you see that metal just there? And so every time you've got you just hold it around your neck. You know, like you've got the scissors, that you have glasses that you just have on a loop round your neck. It's kind of the same. So you've always got something to just cut your threads on. Now I've cut wool with this. I've cut lots of different threads, and it just went through it. An absolute treat. You've got those little guidelines there with the sort of aqua coloured bit, which then just guides your thread into there. Snap, done. Nice clean cut, done. And that's $4.99 for just a handy little thing that just you always have around your neck. Oh, it's still all package producible. Do you want me to take it out? There we go. I'm sure we have one of these open somewhere. Let's take it out and have a good look, shall we? Now, here we go. Let's take that out. So you just, pop it on like that. Now I've got to find some thread, haven't I? Yeah, well, you know, it's easier said than done, isn't it? We'll get some thread, and I'll have it there. I'll have it there ready to go. Right, can you ask him if he can get some skeins as well, so that I can show that it goes through different threads. So, you know, if you just need something quick, done. Boop. Right, we'll get onto that one in a moment then. Maybe you're giving it as a little Valentine's gift to one, yeah, because it's got love all over it. So it's $4.99, a handy little cutter just to have around your neck at all times. You need to go. Look, maybe a little Valentine's gift. Yay! There it is. Ta-da! Hey, you can really say, yeah, it is safe, so you can wear it around your neck because that's very protective around there. Same both sides. There you go. I know we've got an email. Thank you for your email. Who's this from? This is from Chris. She says, hi Natasha, just got my happy post this morning. Oh, brilliant. So happy, just in time for the weekend and half term. Gosh, is it half term already? Is it? The fabric is so much better in real life than online. Gorgeous green, thanks. Oh, look at all of that. Wonderful. Oh, she had a little birthday tin as well. Oh, well done, Chris. Thank you ever so much. Oh, we've got some thread. Thank you ever so much, Wayne. Right, so here you go. Oh, that's a nice yellow, isn't that? Yellow, orange. So there it is. Pop it there. Done. Cut. Done. Oh, no, it's just really, really easy. There you go. There's another one. Done. And what, do you want me to do again? And then just, there you go, I'll do it in slow motion. Woo! There it is. And then, look, you see, Wayne's got me a skein. Because, I mean, that's just your normal polycotton thread. This is a skein, so this is 6 layers. Done. So it's I've done wool with this as well. No problem. And then it's just really handy. It's there. You do forget you're wearing it. It's just there. It's just there. Take off those pesky little threads. Done. Done. Easy. $4.99. Pop it in your basket. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Now the magic clips. Now Victoria had these yesterday. And now these are your magic clips. Now, when we have wonder clips, they're great. We use them on our binding. But the one thing that we can't do with a wonder clip is sew over the top. And if I spin this around, what you'll see is that you can put the edge, that's your foot on your sewing machine. And that just slides over the top. Obviously, make sure that your needle isn't going to go through the metal. You're sewing just to one side. But if you've got something that is, you don't want it to shift at all, and that if you have to take a clip or a pin out last minute, you just risk it moving slightly. These you can leave in, and the foot of your machine will glide over. Have we got that? Had a little video, didn't we? Yeah. There you go. So look, there's producer Hannah sewing over the top, obviously with the needle just to the right, so the needle's going through the fabric, not through the metal. But look, just slides over the top. She's not having to take them out. She's not having to stop. So it speeds up your sewing as well, because you're not having to stop, keep, stop, start, take it out, stop, start again. None of that. Just look, woo. Now there's 12 in a pack. These are, hang on, which size have I got here? Are these the large? No, these are the small ones, aren't they? They also have, now there is a website that you can go to they give you a full video on how to use these, because it might be a slightly different concept than you're used to, but you've also got marks on there that correspond. So on here, you've got marks on the actual flat bit, and then up here it will tell you the corresponding measurement. So you've got 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. So that mark, can you see the marks on here? 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch on there. And it tells you which one's which up there. So you need a needle clearance of an 1/8 inch over there. So 1/8 inch plus 1/2 inch gives you 5/8 inch. So you can use that if you're into your maths, then you can do all of that, that's fine. If not, just use them however you want. But there are full instructions as to how to use it. It's $13.99. If you hate having to stop, if that really bugs you, then don't stop. Use these magic clips and just sew straight over. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. There are clips for all times and needs. So lots of you adding things to your baskets. Thank you. Please do remember to check out. It isn't under £15 hour. So if you are brand new to us as well, and you are spending over £10 with us today, that doesn't include your P&P, then you will receive a little gift from us to you. We like to do that for new customers. So anybody that's been a new customer will have had a gift of some shape, size or description. And at the moment, our new gift, worth $16.99, is a little handy, very handy sized A4 self-healing cutting mat there. And you will just get that. You don't have to remember any codes or anything like that. Just pop it in your basket. Oh no, you don't have to. Just check out and we'll pop it in your basket. And off you go. Happy days. Now, gosh, what to go for? Oh, now, Producer Paul, we had a question about adhesives in the first hour. We had someone message in and saying, look, what adhesive do I use? If I don't want to, when I'm quilting as I go, if I don't want to risk an iron on a polyester, if it, it makes me feel a bit nervous, what do I use? We've got different adhesives. Now, the 404 is the one that is your repositionable quilting basting spray. This one that I've got on the show today, this one is a permanent one, so you would use this if you're going to be using it for your appliques and things like that. So maybe you bought one of the applique kits or something like that, maybe you bought any of those, then you can use this as a permanent glue. You can still sew around the edge of it, that's absolutely no problem at all. But this one is a permanent one. So you're not going to be, after 30 minutes, you can't reposition this. So you've got that repositionable element for the first 30 minutes, then it will adhere permanently. Okay, so maybe you're doing patches on things. My husband's gone through his jeans again. So can you put a patch? Well, yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. So $7.99, KIGQ 68, that is your permanent glue. The 404, is it called 404 or 405? It is 404, isn't it? The 404 is your repositionable one for your basting. So I'm really sorry, I can't remember your name. My brain's gone to mush at the moment. Producer Paul's going to have a little look. If you were asking about which basting spray to use, then it's the 404, and that's the one to use for that, and that is on the website for you. So that's great for your basting of your quilts. Right, let's have a look at a book. A little change of pace. Let's have a look at the ruler book. Quilting with rulers. Lots of you will have all sorts of other rulers. Now, this is Quilting with Rulers. Now, they suggest the easy rulers. And what happens is, you get the book, and you match it with your rulers. So, if you've got, though, if you have, and we have on the website, we do have corresponding rulers. So, if you want the flying geese rulers from Creative Grids, and we've got those. And so, they've given you these different quilts. So you get different quilts using different rulers. So if you've got a flying geese ruler, then you've got these different projects to use with your flying geese rulers. There you go. How close can we get on these? I can flick through otherwise. There you go. These are all using your flying geese rulers, those. Now, if you've got the 120-degree ruler, and we had that on the show on Tuesday morning, we had the 120-degree Creative Grids ruler. That was on at 8 o'clock. So if you want to get a 120-degree ruler, then all of these projects allow you to do all of those using a 120-degree triangle ruler. Now, down here, if you've got your 45-degree diamond ruler, then those are your 4 different projects. And they've got a little key as well, so anything that's got a diamond is using the diamond ruler. And then this is your double wedding ring. This is the curved part of your double wedding ring. And this is what you can be making using those. So 15 different projects there, using different rulers. Maybe you work your way up. Maybe if you've just got one ruler, start off, work your way through those. Maybe then invest in the second ruler, work your way through. But a really lovely book. Easy, step-by-step instructions. Let me actually show you. Very simple, straightforward instructions. How to put things together. There you go. And look, you see, there you go. That's showing that you need your diamond. So it will always highlight which one you need. Aren't they wonderful? Really beautifully explained. Gets you over any kind of fear of rulers. Gets you moving on to the next level with quilting. Rulers are my next level. Oh yeah, imagine some of the tulip pink in some of these. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So you've got general instructions as well in there. Really lovely. So for me, I've done lots with squares. The next step is to get some of these rulers and really get going. So if you want to be quilting with your rulers, and the other thing to note is as well that you do have video tutorials with these as well, which is always helpful. I don't know what kind of a learner you are, but for me, I'm very visual. So for me, I like the pictures. Yeah, I'll read the words, but I really, really like someone to explain it to me. That's why working on this channel is an absolute dream, because I see things firsthand, and that's how I learn. So if you've got that option there, but you do also have it photographed, step by step, with instructions, laid out. Loads of you adding this to your basket. You see, look at that. So this is saying, look, you need there your flying goose ruler, and you can do that. That's amazing. Imagine that in tulip pink. Now, half the stock has already gone. Please check out your baskets. Don't miss out on this. It's really beautiful. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. So if you've never seen our 15-hour before, everything on the show is under £15, and you do have to check out, because invariably things will go. We've already had a couple of sellouts this hour. Things go very, very quickly. So if you've seen something that you fancy, maybe you've already got the fabric at home, and you're going, oh yeah, that's just right for that project. Dripping with diamonds. I love that one. I'd love to be dripping in diamonds. Oh, Christine, hello. She says, hi, Natasha. Can the spray be used on cot quilts? Says Chris in Durham. Yes, you can. Just wash it. Pop it through the wash. It washes out. So you're just fine. Yeah. Good question. Yes. Got to look after our little ones. Next. Oh, come on, Producer Paul. What do you want to do next? Exactly what I was thinking. Good. Now, this is one of my favourite tools. I've got a lot of favourites, haven't I? I think that's okay. It's like if you've got more than one child, I think, you know, you don't have to have a favourite. You can have them both as favourites. Fine. Now, this is by Nancy Simon, who, bless her, when she was alive, was a brilliant, brilliant quilter, and she brought us so many handy things. I'm going to take that mat away. So this is a 5-in-1 tool. It is massively multifunctional. I'm going to try and show you just a few of them, but let me just talk you through some of the key features here. So you've got a measure, a 6-inch measure from here, starting from 0 up to 6, and from here, starting from 0 down to 6 this side. So they go in opposite directions depending on which way round you've got it. Now, if you need to check a 1/4 inch seam allowance, what you'll notice is that this green arm here and this green arm here are both 1/4 of an inch. So if you're checking your 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, you're making sure, or maybe as Jess said earlier, you know, she used to draw on her 1/4 of an inch when she wasn't sure. Just line it up with the edge and then just draw it on, and that's absolutely fine. Now the in-between gap, so if I show you this in-between gap here and here, so there, that measures 5/8. Sorry, 1/8 of an inch. So if you're going from, if you're measuring from there to there across both, that's 1/4 of an inch, that's 1/8 of an inch, and that's 1/4 of an inch. So all the way across from there to there is 5/8 of an inch. So just in that one tool there, you have already got 3 of the measurements that you use time and time and time again in your quilting, in your sewing. You've got those just to quickly check. Am I on track? Yes, I absolutely am. Now, maybe you want to space your buttonholes. Well, that's absolutely fine too. Maybe you want them to be 2 inches apart. That's fine, because then I would mark off, right, I want it to be there. And you've also got marks along here if you want to measure how wide that's going to be. And then I can mark off along there, move it down, finish off that, and then mark again. And I'm going to be spacing things absolutely perfectly as I go. Now, the other thing to bear in mind is that you can also line up your edges. So if you have, hang on, let me get some fabric. Maybe, what was that? Throwing things all over the shop. If you would like to turn up some hems, and you want to turn them up and you want that hem to be an even turn up, I dream of the day if I have to actually turn something up, but you know, yeah, it's being tall, isn't it? Then you can, maybe you want to turn it up by 1.5 inches, then you would adjust it to 1.5 inches, and you would lay that along there, and you go, right, okay, there, that's where it is. Either press it or pin it in place. Then I'd move along. Is that right? Yes, it is. Finger press it, pin it. And so you then have that equal hem all the way around, which is brilliant. And if you're double hemming or something like that, then you can fold it up again. Maybe I only want it to be 1 inch there. Well, that's absolutely fine. And then know that as I double hem round, I'm absolutely on track. Maybe you're doing this with your curtains, maybe you're taking up curtains, maybe it's trousers, whatever it is that you're doing, you can do that. Now, the other thing to mention is, if you're like me, I have a thing about circles. Firstly, they are really, really tricky to draw, but the really nice thing about this is that you can kind of use it as a bit of a compass as well. So if you want to make yourself circular templates, whatever size, up to a 6-inch radius, or that's going to be a 12-inch diameter, then you can use this tool to do so, and all increments along. Now, I don't know if you can hear that click. As you push down and move it, it doesn't, but then it will click into position. So if I want to do a 3-inch radius, then I'm going to place my finger on there. There's a little whizzy bit there. I'm going to get something like my sewing tool. This is a 3-in-1 sewing tool. We're out of these at the moment, but we do have the sewing pencils and they're fab. In here, can you see there's a little hole in there? I've lined that central hole in there. Along, you see I've got my 3-inch line there. I've popped that in there. And now all I need to do is draw around, and there is my template. That could be on your Bonder web, anything like that. So now I can put my fabric over the top. I can cut that. I know I've got my circular shape. Okay, now this is flying into baskets. It is a fabulous little tool. I'm just touching on the number of uses that this has. It's $14.99. We've even got multi-buys on this. No, blame me, it's brilliant. It's a real brilliant piece of kit. And it's $14.99. Pop it in your basket, check it out though. That's the thing I would say. Please make sure that you check this out. I do not want you missing out on this. Don't miss out, it's really handy. It's just something to have in your kit, and then you've always got it there, always ready to use. For me, having just moved house and having to make a lot of curtains, for me, it's having that hemmer, that measurement for the hem so that I don't have to keep finding a tape measure and trying to adjust it. I've got it there ready to go. How easy, really, really easy. Now, there you go, pop that in your basket, make sure that you've got that, check it out, and then it's yours secured, done. Now, we have had, and I know this because I've been on the fan page and I've seen, and also on our Sewing Quarter Facebook page, and I've seen a lot of you going, this is brilliant, I'm learning, I'm new, you know, what can you recommend for diddle-a-diddle-a-diddle-a-diddle-a-diddle? How to use a sewing machine is a great place to start if you are absolutely new. And also, if you've got some experience, but just might have a few little gaps here and then. Now, this is going to help you decide on which sewing machine to get. If you're that much of a beginner, you haven't even bought a sewing machine yet, then it talks you through all the different things. It's a jargon buster. So demystifying all those things. We might use different terms that, you know, feed dogs. The first time someone said, can you just drop your feed dogs? I was like, what? What? Eh? No, I've fed the dogs, it's fine. No, can you drop your feed dogs on your machine? Can I? I don't know. And so if you don't know things like that, sometimes you don't want to ask. By the way, you can always ask, because there isn't a silly question. There'll be somebody else wondering too. But if you don't want to ask, if you don't want to message in and ask, or we don't get time to read out your question, then this will give you all of those answers. So before you begin choosing the machine, there are so many out there on the market. Occasionally, and I think this weekend we might have a sewing machines show coming up where we will talk you through all the different machines, but which is going to be the right one for you? It's like choosing a car. You know, it is a decision, and it's a very personal decision. You know, what sort of things do you think that you're going to be doing? I would always recommend going for a machine that you can grow into, not one where you're already at. Give something for you to aspire to as well. And then you can get to know your machine. All the different bits, so, you know, your sewing machine anatomy, you can find out where those feed dogs are. All the different feet. Oh my goodness, the feet. So many different feet, so little time. But here you can find, and also they all have different names. Well, they have different names for the same foot. It's very confusing sometimes. So it will break down all of those jargon, different ways of threading your machines as well. Because the very first thing, when a machine goes wrong for me, I will unthread and start again. That's generally where the problem is. Turn it off, on, rethread, you're good to go. Now Now this says serger, we call these overlockers, okay? And again, sometimes in America they're called different things, sometimes in the UK we call them different things. It's like wadding and batting, same thing, just different terminology depending on which side of the Atlantic you're on. So a serger is the same as an overlocker. And again, it gives you all of that anatomy, also how to thread them, because that's the thing that scares everyone. And at what point would you use all 4 threads? When would you use 3 threads? When would you use 2 threads? Then it talks about using your machine. If anybody has a machine, quite frankly, you need this book. Now here, you've got problem solving. Problem, possible cause, and solution. And you've got pages of it, which is fabulous. So you don't have to, you know, lots of these machines have great call centers, but look, you've got all of these different things. And it's just all those questions answered. It might even answer those questions you didn't even know that you needed answering. Color-coded as well. Now we're on to seams. All the seams are in yellow. We're talking about hems. You get your Nancy Simon 5 and 1. You might want to then start tackling those hems. Maybe if I want to do decorative hems. Zippers and buttonholes, always a stumbling point. It's okay. You've got it covered. What a brilliant book. Binding, trimming, all in there. Get it, $12.99. I don't care how experienced you are, you're gonna need it. Cutting mats. Whew. Now, of course, if you are new to us today, you're going to be getting a little A4 one, which is a really handy size, especially if you do a little bit of English paper piecing, something like that. Protects your desk, you can cut, you know, small things in. Sometimes we need a bigger one though. Did we have this for Tulip Pink? I hope we had this on Tulip Pink Day. This is A2. It's a nice usable size. This is, you know, you're going to be able to do a lot of good cuts on this. This is $14.99. This is self-healing. What do I mean by self-healing? It doesn't need a plaster. What I mean is that when I cut through it, if you can imagine, if I cut through it and that actually left a cut in the surface, then when I do a cut there, I'm going to go into that, and it's not going to give me a clean cut. When you have a self-healing cutting mat, it closes itself back up, and it self-heals so that you still have that nice smooth surface, and that's what you want. There's nothing worse than trying to do one nice long cut and which is what you get if you don't have a self-healing cutting mat. Okay, so you want one that's always going to glide, and having a self-healing cutting mat when you're cutting a lot means that you're increasing the longevity of your mat, and you're also going to get a cleaner, crisper cut, a safer cut as well. So on one side I've got my centimeters, and on the other I've got my inches, and I've got all of those different lines that I'm going to be needing if I'm quilting. I've got my 45-degree line as well if I'm cutting on the bias. So we call it on the bias. If you line up your edges and you cut on 45 degrees, that gives you your stretch. We call that cutting on the bias. So you've got that so that you can use your cutting mat to line those up as well. We've got that on the quilting side. That's your inches side. Now I know a lot of you do dressmaking. You want those centimeters. That's absolutely fine. Spin it around. You've got centimeters on the other side. For anyone with little ones, I have one of these for my little one so that when he says, "Mummy, I want to craft, I want to get out the glue and everything else," fabulous. I just put one of these down, and then he just works on that, and then I can just take it away again, and that's perfect. So really, really handy, really useful. Now, maybe you want other sizes. We've got all sorts of different sizes. Now, this one here is half the size. So this is an A3 cutting mat. That's an A2. The sizes go up. So A4 is half again. Double it, you get A3, double it, you get A2, double it, you get A1. So this one here is all in centimeters. Okay, this is clover, and this is purely in centimeters. So if you are someone that just works in centimeters, this is for you. This isn't a double-sided one. This is purely centimeters. Some only want to work in centimeters, in which case that's fine. Just work in your centimeters. You've still got all your angles. You've still got your 45-degree line if you're cutting on the bias. You've still got your 30-degree, your 60-degree. You've still got all of those. And what I really love about this cutting mat, and actually as a paper crafter as well, this one would be brilliant for me, because what I've also got is, here we go. Here's your 5-centimeter line. And that's just slightly darker highlighted across there. So if I'm doing trimming down of things, especially if I'm card making or anything like that, then I've got that. Your 10 centimeters, that's nicely heavily done. So it's gridded, and you can see, yeah, if you come in from afar, you can really see how those are highlighted. It's a bit like graph paper at school. You know, the 10 centimeter one was always a little bit heavier. So that's another great one. Cutting mats is, again, it's personal choice. It's very personal choice, whether you're inches, metric, how much space you have to use, and what you're going to use it for. So there's no one size fits all. It's a very personal choice. Right, spare rotary blades. I've got a set of 3 here. Well, I would like to say I have a set of 3 here. What actually happened is that we've used some of them, but you'll get a set of 3. Now, what I would say to you is have a couple of these. Buy a couple of these, $7.95. And we had a very good question the other day about how do you dispose of your rotary blades? Well, I don't. What I would do is that when I've got old blades, I would write in pen, get your Sharpie out or whatever, and write old blades in there. Keep them for your paper. Sometimes you'll have to cut patterns and things in paper. Keep them for that, and just then you don't have to throw them away. But if you do need to throw them away, then make sure that you dispose of them properly, and possibly in this nice plastic thing, so that everything is nicely, just safe, basically, because these are incredibly sharp. It's got a protective coating on there. You're getting 3 in here, and they are 45mm. It's got a little tab there, so I can lift that up. Be very careful. So that little piece of paper on there is just protecting it. We've got 2 blades in here, but actually you'll get a 3rd. Now this, as you can see, I'm being very, very careful with this. You've even got your measurements in there. Can you just see? So if you're being really precise as to how far you want to cut. Now never hold the blade, just put it back in there. Ooh, be very, very careful when you do that. And you will get 3 in there, and they are safely contained like that. There you go, $7.95. There we go. So, and then, you know, starting, maybe you've bought the Bargello. Before you start all that cutting, treat yourself to a new blade. Now, we've got some creative grids for you, which we love. Hang on, where have I put them over here? I've got 2. Which one do you want to start with, Producer Paul? What one? Now, This is a handy little one. This is your 4.5 by 4.5 inch creative grid, which means, look, I've got my anti-slip built in. These are the standard features that you expect to see on any creative grid ruler. I don't have to buy separate rubber sticky things to stick on to stop it from slipping. It's got that non-slip grip, so it's not going anywhere, which is just wonderful. Now, as with any of the square or rectangular rulers from Creative Grids, I've got marks in black and marks in white. The whites across here and up here and along there, they give me my inch measurements. So if I'm cutting down there or down there, then I know that it's going to be an inch. When I want to add my seam allowance and I want to add a 1/2 inch, I just spin it around and I will cut using those because they have added a 1/2 inch on. And what you'll see here is that that 1/2 inch is highlighted. These are quilters making for quilters, so they know you're going to be using that 1/2 inch an awful lot. So look, that's highlighted. But it may be you just want the 1/4 inch, that's fine, spin it around. And this bit here is your 1/4 inch. So you can see if I hold that up there, 1/2 inch in your opaque non-slip grip, and this is your 1/4 inch in your non-slip grip. This is a great one if you're trimming down those 4.5 inch squares. Maybe you're going to be ending up putting together a 16 inch finish block. Then this is a great one to just trim those down. It's $9.99, a handy little size, very portable if you're going off to workshops. Have it there, and this is where you can use your little cutting mats as well. Sit in front of the TV, trim them down, you're done, $9.99. IRCQ56. Maybe you want to go even smaller. If you want to go even smaller, then this one is your 3.5 inch. So maybe you have a large project that you know you've got coming up and you know that each of your blocks is going to end up being a 3.5 inch. So you're going to have to trim it down. Maybe you've got a rotating cutting mat and you're like, right, actually I want to make life really easy. I just want to be able to put that down on top of my block and trim it back to 3.5 inches. Here it is. Ready, good to go. It's $7.99. It's one of those things, if you know you've got a project like that coming up, treat yourself for just $7.99 and then you've got it in your stash. These don't run out, wear out or tear out. If you look after these properties, these last a lifetime, which means that you've always got it there to use. Pop it in one of the racks, it's not going to get damaged, and then you are investing in your trade. You're investing in what you love to do, and if you love this as a hobby, then treat yourself to really good quality, and that's what this is. My husband always says, buy cheap, buy twice. You won't have to here because you're buying excellent quality every time. This is a British-based company. They started in Leicester, that's why you got the Fox sign on there, by a husband and wife combo. They started the company. Rachel Cross, their daughter, John calls her Rachel the Ruler. She's now continued on, and they just get in expert quilters, and so they're quilters very passionate about bringing to you the most user-friendly rulers that you can possibly get on the market. Please check out your baskets. Already 5 of you put those in your baskets. It's one of those really handy little ones. Now, talking to quilters, I've got a little quilter ruler down here. Now, this is very handy. Sometimes you just need to trim something back. This is from Olfa, again, another great name in the quilting industry. It looks like that, the sort of rulers that you just used to have at school, doesn't it? But it's not. What it actually has is a thick enough lip there so that if you want to use your rotary cutter, you can against it. Now, this gives you inches. Remember your rulers at school? Used to be 30 centimetres. Well, this is it in inches. So if you are a quilter, then that's great. You've got, of course, your 1/4 inch marks on there as well, which is fab. And you are good to go, which is just a really handy, lovely size to get going with. And of course, never use a stationary 30 centimetre ruler for, trimming back, because it won't have that grip. That's got a nice thick lip on so that you can use it safely with a rotary cutter. Okay, it's $5.99. Now, here we go. Oh, by the way, I showed you the 5-in-1 earlier. I was testing out how easy it was going to be to use on fabric. And can you see there? Yeah, easy. I ran out of fabric. But yeah, you can easily use it with just with a chalk pencil to mark on your fabric as well. But talking chalk, We also have I got to open this one up? We've not got an open one. We should have an open one. This is our chalk wheel. This is perfect for dressmakers out there. Absolutely perfect. This is your Primstick chalk wheel, ergonomically designed so it just fits in your hand. There's powdered chalk in there and little teeth on there so that as you glide it across your fabric, it just gives enough chalk on there for you to mark your mark your patterns beautifully. Really, really handy and shows up an absolute treat. So £5.49 if you're a dressmaker and you want to, you know, to use your traditional chalk. I still use the chalks that my grandmother had. She was a dressmaker. Then this is great. Absolutely great. £5.49. Now, talking of other marking tools, we've got a set of 3 pencils here. So sometimes white's not going to show up on your fabric if you're working with a white or a lighter fabric. Now, so what we've got here are 3 different colours. You've got your white, you've got your pink, you've got your blue. And then you've also got that little bit on the end there so that you can just brush them off when you're done. These are your fabric markers. Look at that. Just £1.99 for all 3. Yeah. And if you want to protect the lids, then you've just take those off the edge and put them on there. Got a little brush on so that you can then take them off, and there you go. It's perfect to use. Just don't iron these or hot wash before removing those marks because it might stain the fabric. There you go. Now, if we're talking ironing, of course, this is one of our really handy things to use. This is a silicone ironing mat. Now, don't leave your iron on there for hours and hours and hours. But what I would say is, if you've got quite a lot to iron, just rest. You know, open up that seam that you're pressing. Press. Open up the next bit. Press. You're not having to constantly, because I don't know about you, my ironing board is a bit wobbly if I sort of stand it up like that. So for me, that is the safer way to have it. Open, press, pop it down. Don't go off and make yourself a cup of tea and leave it on there, obviously. You'd put it back on the metal stand. It's for short term, but it's really handy, and it's just £5.99. So that's always a very handy thing just to have in your stash there. Lots of you adding to your baskets. Please check out your baskets. Don't miss out. I'm not chivying. I'm just saying that I don't want you to miss out. And as things, you know, do sell out very quickly these hours, please make sure that you've done that. A retractable tape measure is a very handy thing indeed. As my son, I had to de-knot him from a non-retractable tape measure the other day. It was very annoying, especially as I'd wound it all up beautifully. Now, clicks, it holds in place. You've got centimetres on one side, inches on the other. Centimetres and inches. And then you've got a little button there when you're ready. Whee! There it is. I believe that goes up to 150 centimetres. Oh, look, it says on the screen. There you go. Yeah, it does. Whee! It's really handy. I've got tape measures at home, and I wind them up, and I pin them with a quilting, with a Wonder Clip. Mind you, I clip everything with a Wonder Clip. I've even clipped my hair up with a Wonder Clip. I suddenly realised. I've just seen that on the screen. Right, what else are we looking at today? Oh, can I look at these? No? Yeah, can I look at these? Sometimes we work with fabrics that we've appliqued. These are perfect for applique, anything where there might be some stickiness, some glue, anything like this, because they are titanium. These are your Fiskars titanium non-stick multi-purpose scissors. Now remember, if you bought the Fiskars scissor sharpener, then that's great as well, but these are non-stick. So if you are cutting through anything that has been bond webbed, that has been heat and sealed, that has had any glue, maybe you've used your spray basing glue, the repositionable one, then you've got to cut through it or do anything like that, please use these types of scissors. These are your titanium ones, so they are not going to stick and smudge up the inside of your blade and render them useless. So for $11.99, they are super, super sharp. All around here is a soft grip as well. That's like a rubberized soft grip in there. So they're very easy on the hand to use as well. And I've got a funny old thumb from falling off horses and dislocating things. So, you know, that actually, even with my chunky sort of arthritic thumb, that's going to be absolutely fine. That's $11.99. These are a fabulous pair of scissors. I'm a big fan of Fiskars. The majority of my scissors at home are Fiskars because, you know, as soon as you've got that orange, you've got quality. Fiskars started in the 1600s. They're named after the town that the metal is mined from. So they really know their stuff. They've been going for so many years, they know exactly how to work that metal into a perfect, perfect blade. Now, if you are someone that likes to do snap clip fasteners, then you're going to need a little something like this. Now, we did do a big box of all the different snaps, but if you have anything like that, they always say you're going to need a snap fastening tool. And it also has different fittings for different sizes as well. And then on the back, it comes with full instructions how to change all the different fastenings. And there we go. So that's £12.49. Pop that into your basket and you're good to go. Now, coming up tomorrow, I leave you in John's capable hands. 8 a.m. wordplay fabric launch. Ooh, new fabrics for the weekend. Very nice. 9 a.m. Joe Carter's lambs. Yes, we are coming up to Easter. Yes, we do need lambs. And quite frankly, if they're Joe Carter's, they're going to be super, super quick. Cute, rather. And then we've got a pre-cut fabric hour at 10 o'clock. And then 11 is our Galaxy Quilt Kit, back by popular demand. Fabulous. That leaves me just to say goodbye. Thank you ever so much for all your emails and sharing your pictures of all of your works. Absolutely loved it. Thank you so, so much. I will be back in next week. So have a lovely, lovely weekend, whatever you're up to, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Spring into the weekend with a new softie by Joe Carter. The fabulous toy designer is joining us this Saturday at 9 a.m. sewing a sweet lamb toy. Our new kit includes enough fabric to make 2 little lambs with plain and textured fleece fabrics for the body and legs, plus spotty orange and green prints for the feet and ears. Add a spring to someone's step and create these little lambs as an Easter gift or simply treat yourself. So join us at 9 a.m. on Saturday the 10th of February for an hour of fun with Joe and me, John. Only on Sewing Quarter, Freeview Channel 78 and Sky Channel 678.